Naruto God Level Majin Buu, Chapter 341 to 360. 341 The Myth of the Ninja World. Be quiet. Eerily quiet. Even though there were still thousands of ninjas on both sides at this time, they were all silent, not a single one of them made a sound, just watching Chen advancing step by step strangely. And Chen even seemed to turn a blind eye to everything, and simply regarded this battlefield as his back garden and moved forward slowly. As for the surrounding Iwagakure, not only did they dare not stop Chen, but they even honestly made way for Chen. The scene was extremely strange. Thousands of Iwagakure would be afraid of Chen Yiren. But the fact is that these Iwagakure kept retreating, showing fear to Chen, especially when their leader Lois was also hit hard by this blow, and his life and death were unknown. These Iwagakure what's more, there are 6 gods and no masters, and they don't know what to do, and of course they don't dare to provoke Chen. Chen saw it in his eyes and knew it in his heart. If he attacked Iwagakure at this time, perhaps Chen could really gain the upper hand and defeat the thousands of Iwagakure. But Chen didn't do this, because here is all the power of Iwagakure. Chen wants to keep these Iwagakure deliberately, in order to weaken the strength of other countries. Otherwise, without Iwagakure in the Third War, it would be a different matter whether the Battle of Canopy Bridge can be fought or not. Killer Bee, Namikaze Minato and the others all followed Tatsuya. At this time, Iwagakure didn't even bother to stop him, so Tatsuya left with Kumogakure and Konoha. Killer Bee and others were still in a dream, thinking they were in a dream. We broke through so easily. I looked at her hands in disbelief, sighed softly, and looked at Shang Chen again, her expression becoming more and more complicated. This is nearly 10,000 Iwagakure, but Chen is breaking 5, and he has created such a terrifying Raiden, Thunder-style ninjutsu, which is unforgettable for a lifetime. It is really amazing. Chen smiled without saying a word. Killer Bee also looked at Chen dumbfoundedly, with a deep look of shock and surprise in his eyes. The scene of Chen just now is truly unforgettable. There is only one person, but it makes thousands of ninjas stunned. This aura, this strength, is really touching. Chen, you really created a myth. One person is still undefeated against tens of thousands of people, and it is terrifying to break through. Yeah, I was completely shocked. That one just now, Raiden Thunder Style, is definitely the strongest Raiden Thunder Style ninjutsu I have ever seen. Killer Bee sighed, admiring and shocking, to the point of excitement. Killer Bee has decided to practice ninjutsu hard after going back, so he can't be left behind too much. Come on, those Iwagakure are acting rashly for a while, but it's still dangerous for us to stay here all the time. Chen said lightly. Hearing Chen say this, everyone is all one by one nodded. Although Iwagakure did not dare to act rashly for the time being, it was indeed dangerous, and Chen and the others had to leave as soon as possible. Now the two sides are completely dominated by Chen. This is the benefit of strength. Chen is absolutely right at this moment. Even the ninjas of Kumogakure village are staring at Chen blankly, expressing absolute obedience. The strength of Chen just now was really too terrifying. Chen led the crowd to break through the siege, and after traveling for a long time, finally determined that the danger was completely eliminated, and I and Killer Bee prepared to lead the Kumogakure ninja to separate from Chen and the others. Before leaving, I looked at Chen seriously and said, Chen, I owe you a life this time. In the future, as long as you can help me, feel free to speak. Although I am not as strong as you, I will do my best. I is a very loyal character, and he regards promises as very important. Since he said this to Chen, it means that he fully recognizes Chen's strength and sincerely regards Chen as a friend. Chen smiled slightly. Next time we meet, I don't know if there is a chance. Chen means something, and next, Chen is about to betray from Konoha, and he doesn't know when he will have the chance to meet I again. I didn't understand the meaning of Chen's words, but nodded slightly and said, no matter what. Whenever, I owe you a favor. I is a tough guy with a lot of money. Chen smiled, patted his shoulder, and stopped talking. Killer Bee and I left Kumogakure village with more than 100 people, and Chen also turned his attention to Namikaze Minato in front of him. Namikaze Minato's injury was almost recovered at this time. He smiled slightly. Chen, you have been really shocking recently. The strength is getting stronger and stronger, and I have been completely thrown away by you. Namikaze Minato is sincerely happy for Chen. Chen smiled. You guy is too careless this time. You have to be careful in the future, otherwise I won't be able to save you every time. Namikaze Minato's old-fashioned Yuhi, this time he was really too careless. Namikaze Minato said, I don't think Iwagakure village actually hides its strength. There are so many ninja troops, almost all out. The strength of Iwagakure village exceeded Namikaze Minato's expectations, and it was indeed no trivial matter to be able to dispatch nearly 10,000 ninjas at one time. Chen is not surprised, as in the original book, Iwagakure village dispatched 10,000 ninjas to deal with the 3 generations of Reikage, and finally fought with the 3 generations of Reikage for 3 days and 3 nights, and Reikage died of exhaustion. Think about it, it happened recently. Chen, you are really going to become a myth this time. You can defeat thousands of ninjas with one person. This is a story that only the legendary Chunin can have, and only the legendary God of Ninjas, Senju Hashirama, Uchiha Madara is a strong person. Just do it. Namikaze Minato was overwhelmed with emotion. Chen smiled slightly, this time using Susanoo Kirin. The effect is really shocking. Even Minato was shocked. Just a few days later, the news spread throughout the ninja world. The whole ninja world is boiling. One is against 10,000. Tens of thousands are against each other. Ask for reward, ask for monthly pass. Zigua Bai Xie. 342 Legend of the Stars. Chen defeated 10,000 Iwagakure with one enemy, and even defeated nearly 10,000 Iwagakure, and the news of the breakout spread throughout the ninja world. The entire ninja world boiled and was instantly shocked. Time is the enemy Iwagakure village. The leader of Iwagakure village, Tiantian Onoki, learned the news. He was unbelievable at first, and when the news was confirmed, he almost vomited blood. The plan to siege Kumogakure and Konoha was a sure bet, but Chen rushed out halfway and ruined his plan. And this has instead contributed to Chen's prestige, making Starlight's fame reach its peak for a while, and the entire ninja world will be shocked when they hear Starlight's name. Tiantianping Onoki was extremely angry, but he had no choice but to give up his plan to deal with Konoha temporarily, and instead focused on dealing with Kumogakure village, dispatched all Iwagakure's current troops, led by Tiantianwei Onoki himself, to start a fierce battle with Kumogakure village. And Chen's deeds also spread to Konoha. Chen's reputation has also rapidly climbed to the top. At present, the entire ninja world regards Chen as a myth, and Konoha's ninjas are all the same, and even the worship of Chen is even better. In Konoha, Chen's prestige at this time is probably not under Hokage. The pride of Konoha, Uchiha's youngest head of the family, killed 7 people with ninja swords. Even this time it was even more exaggerated, breaking out of the army and creating a myth. Chen always creates one miracle after another. There are already quite a few Konoha ninjas who refer to Tatsu as a young man like a god. More, the title of Chen's Light of the Stars has been changed, and the name of Chen is called The Legend of the Stars, to express the admiration for Chen's legendary deeds. Legend of the Stars, Uchiha Chen. The birth of this new title is enough to prove how Chen's actions this time have affected the ninja world. It is simply an earth-shaking change. When Tatsu and Minato led the ninja troops back to Konoha, all the men, women and children of the village came out to greet them spontaneously. Although Hokage and other high-level executives did not come, there were too many people. Almost the whole village was dispatched to greet Konoha. How popular is it? The Legend of the Stars, the Legend of the Stars, the Legend of the Stars. The people in the village shouted Chen's name madly. Chen kept his expression calm, but only occasionally showed a few smiles, which made everyone in the village go crazy. The name of the Legend of the Stars spread all over the ninja world, showing a brilliance that cannot be seen directly. It can be said that after this shock, Chen's name is truly known to everyone, to the extent of Akatsuki, even surpassing the shadows of major countries and becoming a legendary figure. I believe that for a long time, the ninja world will remember this name. Seeing Chen like this, Namikaze Minato couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Chen, maybe you can become Hokage in a few years. Your reputation is no less than Hokage now. The speaker has no intention, the listener has the heart. Chen's heart moved slightly. He was a member of the Uchiha clan, and he was almost destined to be at odds with the high-level Konoha. Hokage doesn't need to be thought about. And Chen's ambition is no longer Hokage, but in the unification of the ninja world. The entire ninja world is in the bag. However, under the circumstances that Chen is so loved by the Konoha villagers, the high-level officials of Konoha did not come to welcome the return of Chen and Minato. This attitude is a bit weird, and it makes Chen do feel a little weird. Chen had a hunch in his heart that maybe the high-level Konoha leader, led by Danzo, really planned to start attacking the Uchiha family. No, or rather, he was attacking Chen. Because of the existence of Chen, the Uchiha family is as stable as Mount Tai in Konoha. Although Uchiha died, but because Chen became the head of the family, the strength of the Uchiha clan did not decrease but increased, but it became more difficult to deal with. So if you want to deal with the Uchiha family, you must first deal with Uchiha Chen. Presumably Danzo and Orochimaru are already preparing. Chen is also always vigilant about Danzo and Orochimaru's actions, but he doesn't stop them from making small movements behind their backs, but rather condones them, because Chen is planning to use the hands of these two to betray Konoha. Otherwise there is no reason to betray Konoha. So everything is still under Chen's control. Under such circumstances, Konoha was excited because of Chen on the surface, but in reality, undercurrents were surging, and Chen could feel the prelude to the coming rain. But most people didn't notice it, but immersed in the sea of joy, especially the people of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha's clansmen have already fallen into a state of madness, because what Chen did this time really caused a big sensation, and the entire ninja world was amazed, shocked, and in awe. The glory of the Uchiha clan has also gradually recovered, and they are still the strongest clan in the village. In the Uchiha clan, Chen looked at each piece of information and nodded slightly. The intelligence is about Obito and others. Obito and others have completed these missions very well, and their strength has grown sufficiently. Kakashi, in particular, has almost reached Jonin's assessment. Chen remembers that the Battle of Canopy Bridge started immediately after Kakashi became Jonin in the original book, so it is estimated that this incident is close at hand. Closer to the Battle of Canopy Bridge, the more Tatsu had to leave Konoha and go to Master Akatsuki. Because from here, Obito will transform into Uchiha Madara and start to act in the ninja world, and Tatsu must restrain Obito in Akatsuki. What's more, Chen also wants to meet Uchiha Madara for a while, to see the strength of Uchiha Madara in the legend. Chen put down the documents in the clan, pondered for a while, and called to humanity. Go ahead, the three elders, please come, I have something to discuss with the three elders. Yes. A member of Uchiha immediately went to invite the three elders. Not long after, the three elders all came, and when they arrived in front of Chen, their expressions were respectful. At this time, Chen, in the Uchiha family, is like a godlike existence, and he definitely has the status of saying no to. Thanks Lei, Dudu, there is a kind. Love is called undefeated in the East, the reward for dominating the world. Please download Feilu novel. 343 Prelude to the Betrayal Village. The three elders of the Uchiha clan respectfully approached Chen, all saluted, and said, I have seen the head of the family. Sit down. Chen rode. Yes. Three elders were all seated, and the first elder was a little puzzled with respect. I don't know what the master has asked us for. It was already late at night, and when Chen was summoned suddenly, the first elder and others were a little puzzled. Chen Dao, there is indeed an important matter. I am afraid that the next time will not be peaceful. Our Uchiha family may face a crisis. What? Three elders were very strange, and the third elder said in surprise, "Yuchin, you are sitting in Uchiha, and now no one in the whole ninja world dares to do something to us. Is there anyone who wants to trouble us?" Not only the third elder, but also the first and second elders were extremely puzzled. Chen's reputation is at the height of the sky, but he has achieved a generation of legends. Now, not to mention the well-informed people in the ninja world, even children of a few years old are seldom unaware of Chen's deeds. There is no way, the legend created by Chen is really amazing, not to mention that Chen is still so young, he is only in his 20s, and he has accomplished such a feat. Under such circumstances, the great elder and several people really can't figure it out, and there will be people who will provoke Chen blindly. Of course there will be. A mysterious smile appeared on Chen's face. He doesn't know about others, but Danzo and Orochimaru definitely have such courage, and Orochimaru also has this ability. The owner said Danzo. Elder wondered. At present, in the village, it seems that only Danzo and others are hostile to you. Chen shook his head, the great elder's vision was still too short-sighted. This is where Danzo is hostile to him. In fact, apart from Sarutobi Hiruzen in the high-level Konoha, others have always been hostile to Uchiha, not to mention that Chen's reputation is so high now, they want to suppress Chen, so that Chen will not become bigger. Just as Senju Tobirama was hostile to Uchiha Madara at the beginning, the current Konoha, led by Danzo, is also hostile to Tatsuya. And even Sarutobi Hiruzen can't stand on Tatsuya's side. After all, Sarutobi Hiruzen's essence is Hokage. To focus on the village, he must be quite vigilant about the rise and descent of the Uchiha family. Otherwise, in the original, Sarutobi Hiruzen would not let Danzo get rid of the Uchiha clan. Three elders looked at each other, not knowing what Chen meant, but they knew vaguely that someone was targeting the Uchiha family. This made the three elders slightly nervous. Fortunately, Chen was still here, which made them feel a little relieved, and the elder said, "Chen, we all listen to you, you say we should." The other two elders also nodded and looked at Chen with hopeful eyes. Now the Uchiha family is just following the lead. Chen smiled and said, "No, the other party said it was against the Uchiha family, but rather it was against me. The Uchiha family will be fine, you will stay safe then, as for me, I have a way to deal with it." Quote. Chen's strength, he is qualified to say this. The three elders looked at each other, and although they were confused, they could only nod their heads. If one day I leave the village, the position of the head of the Uchiha family will be handed over to Uchiha Fugaku. After a while, Chen suddenly said such a sentence. What? Three elders looked at Chen, and then realized that the problem was a little serious. Could it be that Chen has already planned to leave the village? Although Fugaku's strength is in the middle, but the overall situation is good, and he has a good son, the position of the head of the family can be used in the future. To him. Chen wrote. Itachi has been born and is less than a year old now. Chen has also seen Itachi several times. He looks like a tiger with a head, but he likes to drool and babble all day long. He can't see the might of the god of Itachi in the future, which makes Chen, who is full of expectations, boring. When the three elders heard what Chen said, they felt more and more wrong. Why did it feel like Uchiha Chen would leave the Uchiha clan at any time? The Uchiha clan finally found such a towering tree that they could climb on. Yu was worried again. Chen is sitting firmly on the Daoyutai, waved his hands and said with a smile, "You don't need to worry too much, the Uchiha family is worry-free for the time being. As long as I am around, Uchiha will always be as safe as a mountain." Three elders calmed down and nodded slightly. Of course they understood the truth, but what they were worried about was Chen's departure. If the Uchiha family lost Chen, the three elders shivered slightly. It was impossible to imagine that kind of day. Now that Yuchin is in charge, the Uchiha family is extremely reassured and confident. As long as Yuchin comes forward, everything can be easily resolved. You don't even need Chen's presence, you just need to announce this name, and you can make people with bad intentions feel scared. But if you lose Chen, the three elders will be silent for a while, and finally stop talking. Okay, you all step back first. Don't disclose this matter. I will confirm the development of the situation first. Chen rode. Yes. The three elders left Chen's room and left silently. And Chen is a person quietly looking at the starry sky outside the window, where the sky is full of stars, shining brightly. In the endless starry sky, Chen stared at the moon in the sky in a daze, as if waiting for something to stay in the council hall for a while before Chen returned to the room. Chen lightly moved his feet, lest he wake up Kushina and Makoto, who were supposed to be sleeping. Chen was only halfway there when he saw the bodies of Kushina and Makoto tremble at the same time. Both women opened their eyes and looked at Chen with bright eyes, showing that they didn't fall asleep at all, they were just staring at Chen. You. Chen was surprised. Kushina and Makoto seemed to be waiting for his arrival. At this extraordinary moment, the two women also seemed to have noticed something. 344 started. Super forbidden technique. For automatic, for full order. Why did you wake up and haven't slept? Chen couldn't help asking softly. Kushina looked at Chen and nodded lightly. Well, we can't sleep. Yeah, you've been a little weird these days. I always feel uneasy, as if something is going to happen. Makoto took the initiative to hug Chen's hand and said softly. Chen was a little surprised by the sharpness of the two women, and it seemed that this time they really worried them both. Kushina's eyes widened, and she pouted slightly, saying, You have been reading documents in the council hall for the past 2 days, and you have summoned 3 elders just now. What the hell is going on? Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. What can you husband-kun me? Chen smiled and hugged the two women completely, one left and one right, and said softly. Hearing Chen's comfort, Kushina and Makoto calmed down a little, thinking about Chen's terrifying strength now, and their hearts naturally calmed down a little. Chen's current strength has indeed reached an extremely terrifying level. He fought hard from 10,000 people and defeated 10,000 Iwagakure. He can be called the most popular figure in the ninja world at present. Yichen's current strength can solve almost any crisis, and his strength is not inferior to any strong man in the ninja world. Chen hugged Kushina and Makoto, and said with a chuckle, I know you are worried about me, but don't worry. Although someone is targeting me this time, I am also sure. Well, we all believe in you, but we can't help but worry about you. But Makoto said softly. Chen holds Makoto's hand tightly. Although the years have passed, Makoto and Kushina are the most beautiful years at this time, and they have the wood spirit art to keep their youth forever. Heartbroken. Chen felt warm in his heart and said with a smile, I know, but don't worry, I have already thought of a way to do the next thing. It's just that the two of you may be wronged and leave the village with me. Konoha can't hold you anymore. Kushina heard Chen mention this a long time ago, so she was slightly surprised, not too surprised, and immediately said firmly, no matter what. Anyway, we will always be with you. Well, good. Chen also smiled. Needless to say, Kushina and Makoto have a deep relationship with him, so they will always be by Tatsu's side. Especially Kushina, in order to be with Tatsuya, she has been betrayed. I already gave everything to Chen. Konoha roots. The HQ. Danzo and Orochimaru sit separately. On both sides, Danzo looked at Orochimaru and said, How, Orochimaru, have you researched that super forbidden technique? Orochimaru's voice was low, slightly hoarse, and a little excited. Almost, the basic research has been completed. This forbidden technique is the forbidden technique originally developed by the second generation Hokage, but after my improvement, it has become more perfect. It can be called the strongest forbidden technique. I am really looking forward to it more and more. Orochimaru stretched out his head and licked the corner of his mouth with a cold smile. Danzo finally breathed a sigh of relief when he heard what Orochimaru said. Having said that, I don't believe the power of this ninjutsu. After all, the other party is a legend of the stars. When Danzo was chanting the title of Chen, Orochimaru's body was also shaken, and he felt a pressure. Orochimaru was silent for a moment, only to feel that the name brought too much pressure. Uchiha Chen, the legend of the stars. That man, but the one who can break through the siege of nearly 10,000 Iwagakure. Even 10,000 ninjas can't trap him. The answer to whether ordinary ninjutsu can defeat him is no. Orochimaru bit Kiba half-soundingly and said, "We have no way out. If we let it go, Uchiha Chen will grow stronger, and then we will have no chance. What's more, I have confidence in my forbidden technique. Although Uchiha Chen is in the current situation, almost no one in the ninja world can stop him, but that doesn't mean he is invincible. I summoned by the forbidden technique are only stronger than him. That's right, you can only take this chance." Danzo also nodded slightly. In the current situation, only by letting Uchiha Chen die or leave Konoha village, can we plot Uchiha's family and get Sharingan, so Uchiha Chen must be removed, even if it pays any price, I will do it. As long as we can get Sharingan. There was a frenzy on Orochimaru's face. Danzo knew that there was no way out. Although Uchiha Chen is powerful, they may not have no chance of winning. Well, let's make a plan next. We should find some reason to deal with Uchiha Chen better. Danzo was determined and unequivocal. It's better to just push the matter directly on the dead, and on the dead Uchiha Ming, so that the Uchiha family has no chance to defend. Then we will take the opportunity to deal with Uchiha Chen. Orochimaru negative test road. Danzo thought about it again and again, but thought it was a good idea. Okay, just do it. Thank you, Young, for your reward. Please subscribe. Please everyone, subscription is the source of watermelon income, please. Please download Feilu novel to read the underlined version of the novel. 345 Anbu's entire team is dispatched. Chen wants to betray the village. Chen explained the story of Akatsuki in general, causing Kushina and Makoto to be slightly startled. Only then did they know that Chen was already prepared, and now he was finally relieved. That's fine. Kushina sighed softly and leaned on Makoto's shoulder, finally feeling relieved. Kushina and Makoto gradually relax when they learn that Chen has a backer. Chen hugged the two girls, and his eyes gradually became cold. But I haven't thought that this time Danzo and Orochimaru are actually ready to attack Uchiha. Uchiha's death is related to Danzo. What? Makoto exclaimed, covered his mouth and said, the death of the previous owner and Danzo. Well, although there is no evidence for this, I am sure that he did it. Good that you know it, and don't publicize it for the time being. Chen rode. Yes. Makoto nodded earnestly. Okay, don't look so serious. I've been prepared and invincible, no matter what. Whatever tricks Danzo and Orochimaru have, I'll follow. Chen sneered. Makoto and Kushina both snuggled up beside Tatsu and nodded lightly. That night, Makoto and Kushina fell asleep with a little unease, while Chen's reaction was calm and indifferent, and he even looked forward to what Danzo and Orochimaru would do next, waiting for them to do it. Chen is very clear that the current conflict between him and Danzo and Orochimaru is irreconcilable, and also wants to use the hands of Danzo and Orochimaru to get rid of Konoha, leave the village, and go to Akatsuki. During this time, Chen also had contact with Konan, Sasori and others. Konan and Sasori also knew about Chen's series of feats. Konan was fine, she had always regarded Chen as a god. And Sasori was extremely horrified, especially when he learned that Chen had escaped from nearly 10,000 Iwagakure's men. He was completely convinced and respected Chen like a god. The other Nagato, Yahiko, and Kakuro, not to mention all of them, and they are extremely in awe of Chen. Chen revealed to Konan that he would betray the village and come to Akatsuki in the near future, so that Konan was prepared. Konan was very excited when he heard the news, and started deploying early. At present, everything has been prepared, just waiting for Chen's arrival. Everything is ready, only the east wind is owed. Tatsu originally wanted to leave Konoha, but there was only one reason to leave Konoha, and now he just borrowed the hands of Danzo and Orochimaru to get rid of Konoha. This shareholder wind is Danzo and Orochimaru. Next morning, Chen came very early as usual, and had a chat with the Six Paths Immortal in the ring. Recently, Chen's time to find the Six Paths Old Man has become less and less. Chen needs to rely on the Six Paths Old Man less and less, which is related to Chen's strength. Boy, there's been a lot of limelight lately. One enemy 10,000, tisk tisk. The Six Paths Old Man also knew that Chen defeated Iwagakure with one enemy and 10,000, and joked as soon as he came out. Chen shrugged and said, "Don't make fun of me, old man, and tell you something serious, I'm afraid I'll be forced out of Konoha next." "Where are you going to leave Konoha?" The Six Paths Old Man was surprised. The Six Paths Old Man didn't know that Chen secretly founded Akatsuki, because Chen had been using the ring to shield the Six Paths Old Man from him, but it was time for a showdown. Chen shrugged. "Konoha executives can no longer tolerate me, as for where to go, you will know later." Hey! The hostility of Konoha's executives towards Uchiha, the old Six Paths Old Man has long seen it, and he sighed slightly now, and didn't say too much. The attitude of the Six Paths Old Man has already shown everything, and Chen is gradually relieved. Chen's performance was normal, reviewing some clan documents and handling affairs. Today's Uchiha family is in good order under Chen's governance. But just when Chen was dealing with business, there was a loud noise from outside the door, and Chen also sensed the approach of powerful chakras, causing Chen to frown. Finally here," Chen secretly said, not knowing what kind of battle Danzo and Orochimaru have prepared for him, and how they want to deal with him. "Patriarch, there are a lot of Anbu people outside." A ninja came to report the news that Anbu's people were coming. "Danzo, sure enough." Chen whispered to himself, his eyes became cold, and he asked, "Where?" "Master, please come with me." Chen followed the ninja who notified him and walked all the way to the front yard. At this time, I saw nearly 100 ninjas were dispatched outside the Uchiha clan's clan. These ninjas were all dressed in black, wearing animal masks, and could not see their appearance, but everyone their strength was extraordinary, and they all broke into the Uchiha land. The three elders of the Uchiha clan stood in front and resisted, arguing with these Anbu about something. Chen's eyes gradually narrowed, and when he saw this, he snorted coldly, "What are you doing?" Chen's voice spread all over the place, all these ninjas heard it, and the ninjas of Anbu also shook their bodies, stopped what they were doing, took a few steps back, and looked at Chen in a daze. Chen sneered, "Long time no see, you guys have grown up in skills. Nearly 100 members have been dispatched, almost all of them. What do you want to do?" Chen's aura was astonishing, and the members who said these roots for a while were speechless. 346 Get me out of Uchiha's house. Chen's majesty is self-evident. Although young, he has created many miracles in the ninja world. First led Konoha from World War II to victory, defeating 3 generations of Kazekage. After that, it was to defeat the Kurigakure ninja and kill 7 people of ninja swords. Then, the defeat of nearly 10,000 Iwagakure troops. Each of these 3 things is more legendary than the other, making the name of the Legend of the Stars spread throughout the ninja world. True for the people of Konoha, Chen is like an unreachable mountain that cannot be crossed. His words made everyone in the field look at Chen, and they didn't dare to take any other measures. The hundreds of members of Lianjin also stepped back slightly, thinking of the identity of the person in front of them, and their scalps tingled even more. Do you really want to be an opponent with him? You have a lot of momentum, have you always been so aggressive? Chen stepped forward, snorted coldly, and motioned for the 3 elders and the Uchiha clan to retreat. 3 elders and the Uchiha clan all stepped back, and when they saw Chen's arrival, they naturally handed over the matter to Chen. "Sir Chen, forgive me, we have something important to deal with." At this time, one person finally came out of Anbu. This person is somewhat familiar. It was the ninja, who was once code-named B, and was one of Gen's leaders. Chen squinted his eyes and looked at him. What's the matter? Yi bit his head and said, recently, we learned that the former head of the Uchiha family, Uchiha Ming, had the intention of betraying the village before he died. We are here to take away Uchiha Ming's body. In addition, we also asked Lord Chen to assist us in the investigation. To deal with Chen, you always have to find an excuse. Danzo and Orochimaru know that it is difficult to find Chen's fault, so they will aim at Uchiha Ming from the beginning. Chen narrowed his eyes, and the anger flashed in his eyes. Shut up, how could our former head of the family betray Konoha? And what do you mean by asking Lord Chen to cooperate with the investigation? Do you still dare to doubt Lord Chen? For a time, the people of the Uchiha clan were excited and indignant. Yes, what do you mean? Uchiha's clansmen all roared, and Yuhi looked at Anbu of Gen's. These Anbu felt a burst of pressure, and they didn't want to deal with Chen, but there was no way. This was ordered by Danzo himself. Chen waved his hand. You are not worthy of talking to me, let Danzo come over. Chen's expression was flat, as if he was saying something unrelated to him. Anbu's people were all stunned, but thinking of Chen Jin's status today, it seems that this matter is really not something that he and others can intervene. B is in a dilemma. The scene is completely controlled by Chen. While Yi bit Kiba, Lord Chen, I've offended you. This time we have a task at hand, please cooperate. Yi waved his hand. Follow the orders of Lord Danzo, Lord take it away. As soon as B said these words, Anbu's people took a step subconsciously, but at this time, the chakra on Chen's body was not burst out suddenly. A chakra force rose into the sky, and Joe's space seemed to be distorted along with it, exuding a palpitating sense of oppression. Chen looked at all Anbu coldly, and said softly, I see who dares to do it. Who dares to say a simple sentence, but it makes all the Anbu members present stop their steps, stop their hands invariably, and look at Shang Chen in embarrassment. Who is this person in front of me? Is Uchiha Chen, who made nearly 10,000 Iwagakure troops return home. Thinking of Chen's fame and strength, even the root, people can't help but retreat. Chen didn't even make a move, just a word stopped them. Don't think that with Danzo supporting you, you can come to Uchiha and get out of Uchiha. Chen shouted in a deep voice, only to see a burst of chakra gushing out, no doubt revealing his powerful strength. At the same time, Yi unexpectedly spit out a mouthful of blood under this chakra, and he couldn't even do it against Chen's chakra. His face was pale, and he looked at Chen in astonishment, feeling the huge gap between Chen and Chen. The other Anbu's were also stunned, retreating for a while, not daring to compete with Chen. Looking around, there was no one who could fight against Chen, and they all retreated under the pressure of Chen's breath. It's just that. There are not many outstanding people among Danzo's men. Chen shook his head slightly. I said, if you want to do something to me, you are not qualified, even Danzo is not qualified. Wait until you have the strength to talk about it. With such power alone, of course, it is impossible to compete with Chen. But Chen also knew that Danzo and Orochimaru certainly wouldn't deal with him so easily, so Chen was also waiting for Danzo and the others to come back. B was injured and was supported by Anbu next to him. At this time, a soft cough appeared without warning, and 2 chakras emerged. These 2 chakras were equally extraordinary and belonged to the power of cage-level powerhouses. Danzo and Orochimaru. These 2 finally appeared. I saw Danzo walking slowly, while Orochimaru was slightly behind Danzo, with a hint of indifference on the corner of his mouth, staring straight at Chen. Danzo, Orochimaru, you 2 have done a good job. Chen squinted his eyes and said, but the 2 of you seem to be a little short of trying to deal with me. Uchiha-chan, you are wrong, we are not trying to deal with you. Just that I recently found out that the former head of the Uchiha family, Uchiha, is thinking of defecting from Konoha, and you are also listed as a suspect, so we want you to cooperate with the investigation, just to come with us. Danzo said calmly. Oh yes. Chen looked at Danzo and Orochimaru coldly. The Sharingan pattern in his eyes showed clearly, which is the state of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. What if I don't cooperate with you? There's no other way, we have to do it. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth. Danzo and Orochimaru are finally ready to attack Chen. Please subscribe automatically. Please subscribe and reward to read the novel without underline. 350 depends on you. The two of you are sure to start with me, it's up to you. Chen said coldly. The face of Danzo and Orochimaru. Chen will not be so polite. Anyway, everyone is destined to become enemies, not to mention Chen is extremely disgusted with these two people. Your scornful tone, you all have an unparalleled tone, but it seems very normal and convincing. Thinking of Chen's previous record, Danzo and Orochimaru couldn't help but feel a little nervous. Danzo or Orochimaru, they both know Chen's power well, and they don't dare to neglect it all. Uchiha-chan, don't be too complacent. This is Konoha village, not a place where you can make decisions alone. Danzo was trembling with anger. He snorted heavily, he supported Yi and stared at Chen. Chen sneered, then I want to see what you can do to me. Chen's attitude is very tough. Anyway, this time is destined to tear his face, and Chen is fine. Danzo and Orochimaru glanced at each other. Both felt that it was difficult to deal with. Who would have thought that Chen would not cooperate from the beginning, and even did not give them two-face at all. No, Uchiha Chen must be removed. Danzo and Orochimaru have this thought in their hearts, staring at Chen, ready to act. This is Uchiha's house. I don't want to fight with you here, so get out. Chen said lightly. Go away. Just two words that made Danzo and Orochimaru angry, especially Danzo, who has always been a high-ranking and respected person in Konoha. But Chen is his junior, but such an arrogant attitude made Danzo angry. Uchiha Chen, you are too arrogant. Do you really think we will come to deal with you without the slightest preparation? Chen shrugged. Danzo waved his hand and instructed all the members of Gen. Give me all of you. To deal with Uchiha Chen, be sure to take Uchiha Chen away. It doesn't matter if you live or die. This time Danzo brought nearly 100 members of Gen, all of whom are the most elite among Gen, and almost all of Danzo's family. But Chen didn't seem to care, just shrugged and smiled coldly. Danzo, you are really getting better and better, and you know how to let your subordinates fight for you. Nearly 100 ninjas all took a step forward, all planning to deal with Chen. Chen's eyes swept over, full of disdain. Today's Konoha really disappoints me, and the dignified Anbu has become Kiba, the claw of others. Root. Many of the ninjas in the middle were taken aback and stopped. Chen came forward. The members of the Uchiha clan also took action, and they naturally stood on Chen's side. Among these clansmen, many were people who Chen rescued from the village. These people are already obedient, as if they were gods. Chen saw that the clansmen were about to make a move, but reached out to stop them. None of you do anything, all of you obey my orders, be quiet, and step back. But the head of the house, they shut up and obey my orders. Under Chen's majestic words, these Uchiha clan members all retreated. At this time, Kushina and Makoto had also come out of the room, and they were a little nervous when they saw Chen confronting Danzo and Orochimaru. Chen showed a smile at the two girls, meaning don't worry, and this made the two girls calm down. Since you have to do it, then come on, I will play with you alone. Chen said coldly. This is what you said, let me do it. Danzo roared. The members of these roots were hesitant. Danzo, as the leader of the roots, had accumulated prestige for many years, so that these subordinates all obeyed Danzo's orders and started to take action one after another. Nearly 100 Anbu started to work together, showing extremely strong power. These Anbu are at least Jonin level, and when they started to fight Chen together, their power is naturally extraordinary. However, Chen responded calmly. I only saw the Mangekyo Sharingan in Chen's eyes, and for a while, the gravity field of Chen's left eye opened up, only to feel a mountain-like pressure in an instant. These ANBU members all felt that their bodies were heavier. Dozens of times, even the movement is extremely difficult, and the movement is extremely slow, and it can't pose a threat to Chen at all. Orochimaru's pupils shrank, and there was a hint of envy in his eyes. For Chen Sharingan's ability, Orochimaru had been coveted for a long time. Seeing Chen showing Mangekyo's ability, he immediately watched without blinking. Chen's gravitational field can now reach a radius of 100 meters, and the ANBU's within a radius of 100 meters feel that their bodies are facing great pressure. Everyone was stunned. From their point of view, Chen almost didn't even make a move, so they were all imprisoned by the force of gravity and could not move at all. Under gravity, all ANBU's actions became very slow, thinking it is extremely difficult to unleash ninjutsu, let alone taijutsu. Really weak. Chen shook his head. The gravity field is not invincible. If the opponent is a strong cage level, the influence of gravity will be weakened. Can only be said that the strength of these ANBU is not enough to see. For a while, Chen is a quick hand seal, and the hand seal is completed in an instant, and finally it is the seal of the tiger representing Kaden, fire style. Kaden, fire style, majestic destroyer flame, great fire annihilation. Chen gave a low drink, and the chakra surged, sweeping like a torrential rain. No, retreat carefully. Orochimaru's hands are quick and his eyes are fast, and he has always been guarding against Chen's use of ninjutsu. His hand seal is also quick, sweetened water style, big water colliding wave. However, Orochimaru's ninjutsu releases fast, but it doesn't matter. Is power, range or other, it is not as good as Chen's Kaden, fire style. I only saw Chen's majestic destroyer flame, great fire annihilation with a range of dozens of meters, which instantly engulfed the water flow, and even continued to spread and burn, causing the dozens of ANBU ninjas around to scream, and all of them were swallowed by the flames. When Orochimaru and Danzo saw this scene, their eyes became even more solemn. Uchiha-chan, how dare you kill me ANBU's people? Danzo roared. For automatic, for subscription, for rewards ____. 348 The most intense contradiction. Ask for monthly pass. What dare not? Chen sneered and did not back down in the face of Danzo's doubts. I want you to do it, but you can't resist. You. Danzo was angry. He thought that he used Uchiha's intention to betray the village as an excuse, which might cause Chen's position to panic, and then took Chen away and arranged everything to deal with Chen. Right now, that's not the case. Chen didn't buy it at all, wasn't afraid at all, and even let Danzo and Orochimaru succumb repeatedly. Orochimaru and Danzo have nothing to do with Tatsuya. For now, we can only rely on strength to speak. Fortunately, they are also prepared, knowing that Chen is strong and powerful, but they may not have no chance. For a time, Chen just released a Kaden, fire style, which caused dozens of ANBU casualties. Danzo's heart was bleeding. These ANBU's were his most loyal subordinates. He felt distressed if one died, let alone so many people died. It's just worth it to deal with Uchiha Chen. Danzo, I'm going to prepare that forbidden technique, but it will take a while for the preparation period. Before this period, you help me stop Uchiha Chen. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth and whispered. Danzo nodded calmly, facing Shang-Chen. What, Danzo, you want to fight me? Chen's expression didn't change, only seeing his Mangekyo Sharingan just looked at a few ANBU, and those ANBU all fell down and twitched. This is Chen's demonic illusion. After reaching the eternal Mangekyo, Chen's demonic illusion level has also become very scary. To deal with these ordinary Jonin, it is almost as long as one glance can make the other party fall into the illusion. Danzo only felt that his scalp was a little numb, and he began to wonder if it was a mistake for him to treat Chen like this, but he still bit Kiba and said, Uchiha Chen, don't care today. No matter what, I have to keep you. Then see if you have the ability. Chen is too lazy to talk nonsense with Danzo. Danzo shot violently. After the last shot, Danzo clearly knew that there was still a big gap between himself and Chen, so he had practiced ninjutsu hard over the years and his strength had also grown. Of course, compared to Tatsu's almost terrifying growth, Danzo's growth rate seems very ordinary. Futon, wind style, vacuum Daiyu. Danzo spit out a vacuum bomb, mixed with bursts of strong wind attribute chakra, and attacked Chen. Chen shrugged his shoulders with a smile. Kaden fire style, dragon flame release song jutsu. I only saw 5 fire dragons emerging, roaring and rushing out towards Danzo. The futon wind style released by Danzo instead fueled the flames, making Chen's Kaden fire style even more powerful. Kaden fire style's power exploded, and the 5 fire dragons were scattered around Chen's control. Anbu. As for the members of the Uchiha clan, Makoto, Kushina, and others, they had already retreated under Chen's reminder, but watched the battle from a distance. The outbreak of Dragon Flame Release Song Jutsu caused a sea of fire in the surrounding area of nearly 100 meters. Anbu's ninjas were also killed and injured by more than a dozen people. Some Anbu ninjas reacted very quickly, and they all resisted with Suiten, water style, which drove the fire away. Danzo, you don't have only this ability, it's like a child playing a house. I won't be bothered to play with you anymore. Chen shrugged. Danzo's complexion changed, and the expressions of the surrounding Anbu ninjas also changed slightly, all of them stunned. A battle of this level just now was actually playing. Neither Anbu nor Danzo had seen the strength that Tatsuya showed when he broke through 10,000 Iwagakure, so it was impossible to make a real judgment on Tatsuya's strength. Hearing Chen say this, Danzo and the others' faces changed slightly, and they felt deep fear. Uchiha-chan's strength is truly terrifying. Not the same level as ordinary cage level. Absolute difference. Don't be too complacent, Uchiha-chan, I don't believe your strength has really reached such a level. Danzo let out a low voice, and suddenly released ninjutsu again. Sealing art, seal of the dark 4 signs. Danzo is not only Grandmaster Futon, wind style, but also Grandmaster Seal. Since there are many secrets in Anbu that cannot be disclosed to the enemy, sealing can be said to be the most basic, and Danzo, as the leader of Root, needless to say about the master of sealing. This dark 4-image seal is a high-level sealing technique. Only at the moment when the Danzo hand seal was completed, with Danzo as the center, within a radius of about 10 meters, a sphere-like Jinten particle style appeared. This sphere contained terrifying energy, which made Chen eyebrows twitch. A bit surprising. Well, it's finally interesting. Seal me. Danzo shouted and attacked Zhuangchen. The surrounding Uchiha clan, as well as Makoto and Kushina, all looked slightly tight. Between Danzo and Chen, the conflict between the two broke out completely at this moment. Danzo didn't let go and attacked Chen hard. At this time, Mangekyo in Chen's left eye moved again, changing the gravity of Chen's body, causing Chen to easily float in the sky, moving instantly, avoiding the range of this sealing technique. The sealing technique blocked all the space within a dozen meters, and within these dozen meters, nothing survived. The sealing technique is not bad. Chen made a light evaluation, then turned to look at Danzo. If you have any other tricks, feel free to use them, I will continue. Danzo doesn't have more than a dozen Sharingans to cast Izanagi as he will in the future, so his strength has not reached its peak. However, Chen has the Eternal Mangekyo, which makes Danzo fall into the disadvantage very quickly and feel the power of Chen. Danzo, looks like this is the end of the day. Chen's eyes moved, only to see a golden energy coming out of his body. Chen used the young Susanoo, ready to deal with Danzo. This time, he didn't let Danzo go so easily. The chapter number in the previous chapter is wrong, it should be 357. But the content is correct, please read it with confidence. 349 Psychic, Impure World Reincarnation. Of Susanoo burst out from Chen's body, and the powerful force shocked, and Chen also faced Danzo directly, only to see Susanoo slashed out with a sword, and with a posture of overwhelming the sea, he slashed with a sword, facing Danzo. The key point: to deliver a blow. The blow was completed in an instant, and it slashed towards Danzo. Danzo was startled suddenly, and he didn't have time to resist with all his strength. Besides, Chen's blow was not so easy to block. Danzo bit Kiba. If this blow was hit, he was afraid of dying on the spot. At this critical moment, Danzo moved abruptly, but he was still a step behind. Stab. Only hearing the sound of blood splashing out, one of Danzo's arms flew out and was cut off by Chen. In an instant, Danzo lost an arm. Although Danzo tried his best to avoid the vital part, his left arm was cut off by Chen. Danzo cried out in pain, but it didn't help, only to see his face turn pale, and beads of sweat dripping from his body. Sir Danzo. The surrounding Anbu was all terrified, and when they saw that Danzo had been reduced to such a level, they all shouted loudly. Danzo's arm was cut off by Chen Yi's blow. It ran so fast that you escaped. Chen narrowed his eyes and said lightly. Danzo was sweating profusely, cold sweat dripping from his body, looking at Chen with a look of astonishment. After the short confrontation just now, Danzo knew that he was completely suppressed and that he was not Chen's opponent at all. Under such circumstances, Danzo's heart burst into flames, and he finally had a general understanding of Chen's strength. Strong, strong, terribly strong. Danzo immediately understood the opponent's strength. I won't have such good luck next time. Chen said lightly. Susanoo in the early form wraps Chen's whole body. Although it is only Susanoo in the early form, Chen's strength is still very strong. After all, the Eternal Mangekyo is opened, and the current Danzo is not Chen's opponent. Danzo lost an arm and looked at Orochimaru suddenly. Orochimaru, you. Orochimaru was still preparing some kind of forbidden technique at this time, but it had reached the final stage. Orochimaru suddenly opened his eyes and said in a low voice, "It's all right, just hold on for a while." Orochimaru said so. Let Danzo bite Kiba, bite the bullet, and deal with Chen, but Danzo couldn't take action on his own at this time. He commanded his men and said, "Stop Uchiha Chen for me." Anbu's personnel were dispatched again, but there was no difference in delivering the food. Chen was within Susanoo and easily resisted all attacks. These Anbu members were completely hurt. In such a battle, Chen is at the right edge. On the contrary, those Anbu all fell to the ground one by one and died one by one. Nearly 100 Anbu lost more than half of them. After this battle, the strength of Gen members will be reduced to the lowest point. Danzo's heart dripped with blood, but he couldn't help but watch Chen Zhonggen's members kill one by one. He couldn't help at all. He looked at Orochimaru anxiously, and hoped that Orochimaru would finish that sooner. Forbidden technique. Orochimaru, you. If it's any slower, we're all screwed. Danzo snorted coldly. It's all right. At this moment, Orochimaru finally had a pleasant smile on his face, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. This ninjutsu has finally been completed. Originally, this ninjutsu doesn't need to be so complicated, but unfortunately this is the first time I have studied this ninjutsu, so it's a bit slower. Orochimaru smiled gloomily and slowly hand seal. I only saw the success of Orochimaru hand seal, and a strange chakra emerged. The surrounding air seemed to have undergone tremendous changes, and a chakra with evil power appeared. This chakra had a thick and cold aura, as if it had come from hell. This chakra, why I have an ominous premonition. The first elder covered his forehead and watched the battle from a distance, sighing softly. I feel the same way, don't tell me. Several elders felt that something was wrong, and so did Chen, who narrowed his eyes and whispered, the time to come has finally come. Is it really this ninjutsu? Chen, no, I feel the breath of the underworld. This ninjutsu of Orochimaru seems to be able to connect life and death. It is extraordinary, it is the forbidden technique in the forbidden technique. I only heard the six paths immortal communicating anxiously with Chen in the ring. Chen's eyes gradually became dignified. Of course he knew how terrifying this ninjutsu was. Psychic, Impure World Reincarnation. At this time, Orochimaru slammed hand seal and used this ninjutsu. I only saw this gloomy chakra rising into the sky, causing the surrounding space to be distorted and different. This gloomy chakra brought indescribable changes. Impure World Reincarnation. This is the most famous ninjutsu in the original book, and one of the best. At this time, Orochimaru has studied the ninjutsu invented by the second-generation Hokage Senju Tobirama, improved it, and finally developed a new technique of impure world reincarnation. Chen had already anticipated this. I saw two huge coffins suddenly jumped out of the ground and stood in front of Orochimaru. The two coffins made Chen's eyes look strange. In these two coffins, there is a huge amount of chakra and power. Even Chen can clearly feel that it is a power that is completely different from ordinary cage-level powerhouses. Orochimaru looked at Chen and smiled grimly. Chen, this is the feast I prepared for you. I know you are very strong, but these two are not inferior at all, maybe even stronger than you, just enjoy the next battle. Orochimaru is very satisfied with his work. The technique of impure world reincarnation is very powerful, and he knows it well. This time, these two characters from impure world reincarnation are even more legendary, and he thinks they are not inferior to Chen. Uchiha-chan, this time, I will definitely come back here. Ask for an automatic, ask for a monthly ticket, ask for a reward and thank you for a watermelon. 350 Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama. In front of Orochimaru suddenly opened, and two figures appeared inside the coffins. One was wearing a Yuhi-colored armor, with long hair, a resolute face, and a Konoha forehead guard. It's just that the whole body is full of cracks, it looks like it is made of clay, and it has a different kind of momentum. It looks like it is about 30 years old, and Chen can feel a strong chakra from it. The other person was wearing a blue armor, silver hair, and a steel helmet. He had a few Yuhi-colored costumes painted on his face, and he also had an extraordinary aura. This Uchiha clan in the distance almost stared out of their eyes when they saw this scene. Kushina and Makoto next to him were also taken aback, feeling unusual. The people in these two coffins are so familiar that they seem to have seen them somewhere before. It's the first and second Hokage. The big elder blurted out. What? First and second Hokage? How is this possible? Aren't those two dead people? Kushina and Makoto also looked at each other, and finally understood why they felt familiar with their faces. Could it be unfamiliar? These two are the first and second generation Hokage. Ten have seen them on Shadow Rock, how could they be unfamiliar? However, the first and second generations of Hokage have been dead for many years. How could Kushina and Makoto have a layer of deep worry in their hearts, looking at Shang Chen? Chen squinted his eyes, but did not rush. The first Hokage Senju Hashirama, the second Hokage Senju Tobirama, it really is like this. Orochimaru, it looks like your recent forbidden technique has been successful. Orochimaru was quite surprised when he heard Chen's words. Chen actually knew that he was studying forbidden technique and it seemed that he didn't know enough about Chen, but Chen knew many things about him. But Orochimaru, you guys are really unscrupulous. If you use this forbidden technique on Konoha's territory, aren't you afraid of being expelled by Konoha? Chen shrugged. Orochimaru sneered, licked the corner of his mouth, and said in a low voice, everything is worth it. Chen, I have always wanted to challenge you, and now I have this opportunity, which is really rare. Orochimaru is completely in a state of fanaticism. In Orochimaru's idea, as long as he can challenge Chen and force Chen to leave Konoha, he will have a chance to get Sharingan, plus the art of immortality he has developed, so everything is worth it. Orochimaru would not hesitate to betray Konoha for this. Feeling Orochimaru's frenzy, Chen shook his head. At this time, the hands of Hashirama and Senju Tobirama in the two coffins were both slow, and Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama were blinded by impure world reincarnation. Their bodies were in a state, and their actions were a little slow. Chen sees it in his eyes, and secretly thinks in his heart, it seems that Orochimaru is only a preliminary master impure world reincarnation technique. This is the first experiment. Although the Senju Jinchuriki column Tobarama Impure World Reincarnation was successfully released, the strength of these two people has also been weakened. They are by no means at their peak. Chen secretly breathed a sigh of relief. If this is the case, he still has a chance of winning. Afraid that Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama from Impure World Reincarnation are in their prime, it would be really miserable. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama acted at the same time. Although they moved slightly slowly, they stood on both sides of Orochimaru. After a while, Senju Hashirama's eyes gradually recovered and looked around Chen and the others. Here is Konoha. Senju Hashirama looked at the surrounding environment. It seems to be the clan of the Uchiha clan. It is really nostalgic. This young man's eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. It is exactly the same as Madara. Senju Hashirama first looked at the surrounding environment for a while, and then found Chen, couldn't help but exclaimed, and focused his eyes on Chen's body, revealing a trace of solemnity. Someone actually brought me and my eldest brother Impure World Reincarnation out. I don't know what age it is. Is the little monkey okay? Senju Tobarama snorted coldly and walked out slowly. Senju Tobarama looked at Orochimaru. You are the one who brought us out of the Impure World Reincarnation, as I expected. Did the Uchiha clan rebel, eldest brother? I told you long ago, the Uchiha clan cannot stay. Senju Tobarama and Senju Hashirama's words made Tatsu frown. Especially Senju Tobarama, who seems to have a deep prejudice against the Uchiha family, and is full of hostility when he sees Chen. Senju Hashirama said, I don't know what's going on yet, so don't talk about it. But that pair of eternal Mangekyo Sharingan is really scary, no less than the original Uchiha Madara. The appearance of Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama shocked the audience. Chen squinted his eyes, but there was something strange about the reaction of the Konoha ninja in his heart. It stands to reason that Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others should arrive soon after the movement here, but Sarutobi Hiruzen and others did not appear. Uchiha Chen, don't struggle. Now, the two in front of you are the first Hokage and the second Hokage. We have set up a barrier in this area, and Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others will not be able to find it in a short time. Danzo seemed to see the doubts in Chen's heart and said coldly. Danzo's arm was broken, and his fighting power was greatly weakened. At this time, he stood behind Orochimaru and looked at Chen coldly. Chen squinted his eyes. This is the best, I can show my strength without any scruples, and I just want to try what kind of strength the legendary ninja god has. Although Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama have lost a lot of strength due to Impure World Reincarnation, they are still not comparable to ordinary cage-level powerhouses. In this kind of battle between life and death, people can break through their strength and reach another realm. Chen wants to take the opportunity to break through and use the complete Susanoo. Chen's Susanoo is golden, and it is a little different from ordinary Susanoo, and it seems that it is more difficult to evolve. The appearance of Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama this time, Susanoo can be upgraded to a complete body. Come to a big story, ask for all support. To read the underlined version of the novel. 351 Mokuten, Wood Style, World of Trees Wall. You're not ashamed to say it, Uchiha Chen, no matter how strong you are, you may not be the opponent of the legendary god of Chunin. Orochimaru seemed very confident. He prepared 2 spells, put the spells behind the head of the first Hokage and the second Hokage, and prepared to use the spells to control the actions of the two. Chen smiled. Orochimaru, your ninjutsu is not complete. Although the first Hokage and the second Hokage were removed from the Impure World Reincarnation, but the two of them were unable to retain their strongest powers during their lifetimes. Let me guess, maybe you can't control the power after the first and second generations of Impure World Reincarnation, so you deliberately weakened them. Orochimaru's complexion changed slightly, apparently being guessed by Chen. Orochimaru was astonished in his heart. He didn't understand how Chen saw it, but he could understand his intentions and actions so clearly, and he knew so much about Impure World Reincarnation. What's the matter, Uchiha Chen? Don't be too proud, even if the first and second generations of Hokage are not at their peak, it is not something you can compete with now. With a low voice, Orochimaru finally put the spell behind Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama's heads, completely controlling them. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama, completely reduced to killing machines, are under the control of Orochimaru. Chen's complexion finally showed a dignified expression. Although Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama's strengths were weakened, they were by no means comparable to ordinary cage-level powerhouses, especially Senju Hashirama's change. To mention impure world reincarnation is still immortal, and it is difficult to deal with. Give it to me. Orochimaru growled and manipulated the actions of Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama. Kushina and Makoto, who were on the sidelines, both looked tight. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama rushed over quickly, and Senju Tobarama said coldly, "The boy of the Uchiha family, let me see how strong your Sharingan is." "You'll see it soon." Chen sneered. Susanoo used it directly. This time Chen didn't hesitate and used the mature Susanoo directly. Susanoo's range is nearly 100 meters, and he holds his sword in both hands, and the hot white flames rise from the sword. Senju Hashirama was slightly surprised when he saw it. "This is Tobarama, watch out for his Susanoo." The white flame must be his Sharingan's special ability. Senju Tobarama snorted lightly, and immediately responded, "Sweetened water style, the water dragon bites." I only saw that in a waterless environment, a large amount of water attribute chakra emerged suddenly, and even the air became humid. Then, the huge water Uzumaki spread and spread, and at the same time as the water Uzumaki spread, countless risings were continuously emitted from the center. The current of water rapidly slams the enemy, so as to carry out high-speed long-range attacks. The water current forms a dragon shape, and attacks Chen frantically. This is Senju Tobarama's specialty ninjutsu, level sweetened water style ninjutsu. It's actually a second-generation Hokage to use such a strong sweeten water style in an anhydrous environment. Some remnants of roots in the distance, Anbu murmured, all lost in this scene. The water dragon soared into the sky and attacked Chen Lang. However, Susanoo held both hands together, and the double swords in the middle released white flames, directly severing the water dragon, and the water flowed on the ground, which was shocking. Within a few hundred meters, a hurricane. Buddha is like the end. Chen and Senju Tobarama met for the first time, and it caused such a huge shock. The surrounding spectators all retreated again and again. Chen finally saw it at this time. Danzo and Orochimaru were really prepared and set up a barrier here. But even so, although there are enchantments to resist, it is still impossible to avoid being discovered by others, because the movement is too huge. If it weren't for the effect of the barrier, I'm afraid even Konoha village would be destroyed in one fell swoop. Damn, Susanoo has already reached this level. Senju Tobarama's face was a little gloomy. This guy's strength, I'm afraid it will be difficult to deal with in my prime. Implication is that Senju Tobarama may not be Tatsu's opponent even if he thinks he is in his prime. Orochimaru raised his eyebrows lightly, and Danzo felt a burst of pressure. Before he knew it, Chen was already so strong. Senju Hashirama also looked solemn. At such an age, there is already an eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, more than Madara back then. It's really strong, it's awesome. I just hope you don't go down that road like Madara. Senju Hashirama's eyes sighed. Now is not the time to reminisce about the past. Behind him, Orochimaru controls Senju Hashirama. Senju Hashirama's strength was weakened, and he was also controlled by Orochimaru's spell, and finally made his move. I only saw Senju Hashirama hand seal in an instant. A majestic and vital chakra shot up into the sky. The surrounding air seemed to freeze, and a huge and powerful pressure broke through the sky. Mokuden, wood style, world of trees wall. Mokuden, wood style, world of trees wall. This is Kekkei Genkei from the original Hokage, Mokuden, wood style. The chief elder of the Uchiha clan said in shock. I only saw huge trees rising from the ground. These trees seem to have spirituality and life, obeying Senju Hashirama's instructions and heading towards Chen. The vines and branches of the trees continue to grow, and they grow densely and lushly everywhere within 1,000 meters of the surrounding area. The range of Mokuden wood style is very large, and Chen can feel the huge investigation that belongs to Senju Hashirama. The carrot is surging frantically, and its power is incomparable to that of Senju Tobarama's sweetened water style just now. The towering giant trees grew, and the power continued to spread, and it was difficult for even Chen to escape this attack. As expected of Senju Hashirama, the first Hokage. Even though its strength is weakened by impure world reincarnation, it is still so strong. Chen felt threatened. Fortunately, Chen also has a solution. Amaterasu. I only saw Chen attaching Amaterasu around Susanoo and directly burning those vine branches. Please be automatic, please subscribe, please thank for your support. Everyone's support is the biggest motivation for me to code. 352 full body Susanoo. Please, ask for a reward for monthly pass. Amaterasu attached to Susanoo and burned all the tangled branches and vines. Chenyi also consumed a lot of chakra for a while, but compared to the terrible amount of chakra after Chen practiced Yongdun, it was not a big deal. It's drastic. But the scope and power of this, Mokuden wood style world of trees wall, are beyond Tatsuya's imagination, and it can only be said that it is Senju Hashirama, whose strength is really unfathomable. No wonder even Madara kneels when she meets Senju Hashirama. The range of Mokuden wood style is filled with the entire enchantment. If it is not for the resistance of the enchantment, I am afraid it will be even more terrifying. Orochimaru looked at Chen, his brows furrowed deeply, but he didn't expect that even Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama could not suppress Chen immediately. Chen's strength has really grown to such a terrifying level that a cold smile appeared on the corner of Chen's mouth. Mokuden wood style world of trees wall. It really lives up to its reputation. Boy, this is the Mokuden wood style of the original Hokage. It's really powerful, but it's not easy for you to resist. 6 Paths Immortal came from Chen's ears, and Chen deliberately released the 6 Paths Immortal this time to let him watch the battle. Stop talking nonsense, I am at a critical moment now, and I hope to break through Susanoo to a complete body, so that I don't have to worry about the weakened Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama. Chen rode. With 1 against 2, the opponent is still in the impure world reincarnation state of immortality, and he is also a super strong ninja like Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama. Even the 2 weakened, Tatsu can feel a threat. It's hard to imagine how powerful Senju Hashirama would be if it was in its heyday, or even Senju Hashirama with Sage mode turned on. I'm afraid I need to reach Rinnegan to be able to compete. Chen secretly said in his heart. After Chen opened the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, looking at the current ninja world, he is already a rare existence, but he is far from satisfied. Because Chen's opponents in the future must be characters like Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama. Even Kagaya Haim and others are even more terrifying. Thinking of this, Chen has an urgent desire to improve his strength. As even Big Brother's world of trees wall blocked. Senju Tobarama frowned. It seems that I really underestimate this boy of the Uchiha family, and the Sharingan of the Uchiha family is really troublesome. Senju Tobarama, you have always been prejudiced against the Uchiha family, and it is because of you that the Konoha high-level officials suppress the Uchiha family. Your disciple, Danzo, has always pursued this. Chen said coldly. Danzo. Senju Tobarama turned to look around and saw Danzo with a broken arm. Before that, Senju Tobarama hadn't recognized Danzo, but after Chen's reminder, he recognized it. Teacher. Danzo clutching his arm. Danzo, where's your little monkey? Senju Tobarama looked at the embarrassment and frowned. What the hell is going on? When Senju Tobarama first appeared, I thought it was a rebellion of the Uchiha clan, but gradually I found out that this was not the case. HMPH, Senju Tobarama, look at your good deeds. Danzo framed me for betraying the village. If so, why would I really betray him? Chen sneered. Danzo's expression changed slightly. Teacher, this is not the case. This Uchiha Chen has long been rebellious, and you have seen his strength. If you don't eradicate him, it will be a time bomb for Konoha. Senju Tobarama glanced at Chen vigilantly, but agreed. Chen squinted his eyes and didn't bother to argue. To a certain extent he did have a rebellious heart, but Danzo's reason was really hypocritical. Danzo, Orochimaru, although I am going to use your hands to leave Konoha, the two of you, stop talking nonsense and settle the battle first. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth and continued to manipulate the impure world reincarnation, and Senju Tobarama and Senju Hashirama acted again. I only saw Senju Hashirama clasped his hands together, and a chakra burst out again. This chakra was even more terrifying and shocking than the chakra that Mokuden, Wood Style, had just released. Mokuden, Wood Style's chakra soared into the sky, soaring into the sky, making Chendu feel a little stunned. It seems that this time Senju Hashirama's ninjutsu is stronger and more terrifying. Chen's eyes were dignified, and he felt threatened. And Senju Tobarama also quickly hand seal, using the technique of Hiraishin, intends to trouble Chen, and attack Chen. The art of Hiraishin, plus Mokuden, Wood Style, is a bit of a hassle. Chen secretly said, becoming extremely dignified, and intends to use the strongest power. This time you must use the full body Susanoo, otherwise you may not be able to get out of the body. Chen said. I only saw a burst of chakra rushing out of Chen's body, and its power is not inferior to Senju Hashirama. Senju Hashirama suddenly changed color, feeling the yang escape power contained in Chen's chakra. Yang Dun, you actually know Yang Dun, what is it? Senju Hashirama looked at Chen's eyes a little complicated. He can now be sure that the strength and potential of the Uchiha boy in front of him are far higher than the original Uchiha Madara. Seeing Susanoo finally has a change. I saw that the golden layer above Susanoo was even more dazzling, and a layer of mysterious armor spread, actually wrapping Chen's Susanoo body, this layer of armor to protect the body, making Chen's Susanoo appear powerful and mysterious. At the same time, Chen's Susanoo has become more invisible, and the huge chakra forms the Uzumaki airflow, which is condensed. Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobarama, even Danzo, Orochimaru and others were all shocked. Even the chief elders of the Uchiha clan, Kushina, and Makoto were shocked. This is the form of the full-body Susanoo. Finally inspired, the full-body Susanoo. The chakra of Chenjo's body skyrocketed again, and the form of the complete Susanoo was further completed. 353 Tengu form, the strongest Susanoo. Boy, you actually succeeded, Susanoo in full form. In the ring, the voice of the Six Paths old man came, full of shock and shock. Chen actually succeeded, facing the pressure of Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama. At this moment, they used them as whetstones and broke through again. The full form of Susanoo. The old man of Six Paths once said that Chen's Susanoo is different from ordinary Susanoo. The color is dazzling gold, it seems to have stronger potential, and it is more special than other people's Susanoo. After Chen opened the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, he did not immediately master Susanoo completely, but with the help of the pressure of Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama, this opened under pressure. Yes, it was successful. Chen was also very pleasantly surprised, only to see a powerful force emerge, and the powerful Susanoo showed. Susanoo finally turned into a full-body Tengu form at this time. I only saw that Susanoo was covered with a layer of armor, showing complete gold, and Susanoo was shaped like a Tengu, like a ghost. It seemed that there was a suffocating force between the air and the sky, and even the barrier set by Danzo could not resist and began to shatter. His power, Susanoo, has been linked to the world and cannot be bound. Senju Tobarama is full of solemnity. What is the origin of this young Uchiha boy? He is younger than the original Uchiha Madara, but his strength is not. Senju Hashirama also shook his head slightly. The Uchiha family is indeed full of talents. To be honest, if it was when I was at his peak, it would have been fine to deal with him, but now it's like this. Both Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama are under pressure from impure world reincarnation. Big brother, you can only go hard, otherwise, Konoha will be destroyed by him. You need to know the current state of Susanoo, but it can easily split mountains and meteorites. Senju Tobarama said solemnly. Yeah, although I don't know what's going on, I have to stop him. Senju Hashirama sighed and looked at Shang Chen seriously again. Senju Hashirama's ninjutsu hand seal has not yet been completed, but is interrupted by Susanoo, the perfect form of Tatsuya. The complete Susanoo is constantly changing, the hurricanes around him, Susanoo keeps getting stronger, the golden armor is all over the body, and at the same time, a pair of wings grows out of Susanoo's back, which makes Chen's Susanoo fly in the air. At the same time, Susanoo has 2 extra arms, making it a total of 4 arms. 2 arms are holding double swords, and the other 2 arms are holding white flame Amaterasu, majestic. The height of Susanoo has reached hundreds of meters, and it looks like a small mountain. And Chen's position is in Susanoo overlooking Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobarama and Konoha. All the people Danzo, Orochimaru including the Uchiha people have long been watching. The strength of this family owner is already unfathomable. Has it reached this level? This is recorded in Nanga Shrine. It should be the final form of the legendary Susanoo, fully Susanoo. The Great Elder doesn't know what to say anymore. Susanoo, Master Chen, has reached a state of terror. Chenju looked down, overlooking Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama. Are you still going to do it, Senju Hashirama? In your current state, I'm afraid you may not be my opponent. In order to control Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama, Orochimaru weakens both of them, especially Senju Hashirama. In this state, many such as Wood Dragon Jutsu and Wood Golem Jutsu cannot be used, and it is really difficult to suppress Chen. Senju Hashirama's eyes on Shang Chen are very complicated. Young man of Uchiha, your talent and aptitude are the only ones I have ever seen in my life. Not only is the Grandmaster masculine, but also has the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, far surpassing your ancestor Uchiha Madara. If you can become Hokage, Konoha village will be the most powerful village in the ninja world. Quote. Chen chuckled lightly, the corners of his mouth twitched. It's really rare to be praised by the god of ninjas. But it's too late to say this now. Konoha now, it's so disappointing. White flames emerging from Chen's Susanoo, and Susanoo's wings spread out, covering the sky and the sun. The complete Susanoo consumes a lot of chakra. Although Chen has a huge amount of chakra, it still consumes a lot, so the battle must be resolved quickly. The sword light above Susanoo burst out, and the giant sword formed by chakra seemed to be able to smash even the space. At this time, Chen Dang was really like a ghost. Mokuden, wood style, flower world of trees wall. At this time, Senju Hashirama did not dare to neglect, and finally released the flower world of trees wall. I only saw that Mokuden, wood style, spread along with Senju Hashirama's huge chakra. This time, it was even more terrifying than before. There were even flowers from the countless vines, and these flowers all showed a strange appearance. UV-colored, it constantly emits pollen that can stun enemies. The flower world of trees wall also has a range of several kilometers, and the surrounding pollen is constantly scattered, causing the Uchiha family and Danzo to retreat rapidly. Broken by Chen's complete body Susanoo, otherwise this ninjutsu is simply indistinguishable from enemy, and they are all dangerous. Susanoo, Chidori. At this time, I only saw thunder and lightning appearing above Chen Susanoo. The sound of chirping was incessant, and thunder and lightning lingered on Chen Susanoo's double swords, making him swing out with one sword. A sword swung out. Air suddenly solidified, the huge area locked on Mokuden, wood style, and an airflow of several thousand meters appeared, cutting the world of trees wall in half with a single sword. At the same time, the airflow even slashed towards Konoha in the distance. The most iconic building in the village, Shadow Rock. A bang, even Shadow Rock shattered, making a loud noise. The Shadow Rock of the first Hokage and the second Hokage was shattered by more than half. Ask for rewards. 354 alarmed the whole village. The storm is gathering. Please, ask for monthly reward. Chen's sword, not only split the world of trees wall, but even spread its power, forming an air current, smashing the Konoha shadow rock at the farthest. There was a loud bang, making the Konoha village as if it was shaken by an earthquake. The loud noise was shocking. That this sudden action will instantly alarm everyone in the village. But now that's the case, Chen doesn't care anymore. At this point, he had already decided to betray the village anyway, and he simply tore his face today. Chen squinted, holding Susanoo, still overlooking Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama. Damn, even the eldest brother's flower world of trees wall was cracked by him. This kid is really scary. Senju Tobarama frowned tightly. Both Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama felt Tatsu's extraordinary strength, especially Senju Tobarama. Senju Hashirama said, "If we continue to fight like this, I am afraid that he will destroy the village, and then it will be really troublesome." Yeah, it's a pity that we are in this state now. Senju Tobarama's eyes flickered, and he didn't say anything further, but his meaning was very clear. Now they don't seem to be Chen's opponents. Impure world reincarnation was too restrictive for the two of them. Chen looked at the two of them coldly and remained silent, but his eyes turned to the sky. After a while, Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others would all come over. Uchiha clan in the distance were completely shocked, and they did not expect that Chen's strength would be further enhanced to such a terrifying level. Makoto and Kushina finally felt a little relieved. The two women clasped their hands with each other, waiting for the end of this battle. With the full-body Susanoo, Chen finally gained the upper hand in the face of Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama, whose impure world reincarnation state was weakened, and even Shadow Rock was half destroyed by Chen. Orochimaru was also in shock, and Danzo's face was even more ugly. Damn, what the hell is going on here? Why is Uchiha Chen getting stronger and stronger? We actually raised his strength to a level. Orochimaru shouted angrily, his tone full of anger. Danzo was even more annoyed. He never thought it would turn out like this. Chen has now changed his body and has an advantage, and he has also raised Susanoo to a state of perfection, which is even more difficult to deal with. The current situation is indeed extremely terrifying. Even Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama of impure world reincarnation are hard to resist. Danzo, didn't you say that I betrayed the village? So you really tried to betray the village. I want to see who of you can stop me. Chen snorted coldly. Susanoo stepped forward abruptly, took one step, the ground made a loud bang, the sound vibrated, rolling like thunder. The whole Konoha village is like an earthquake. Susanoo, who is hundreds of meters tall, wants to destroy Konoha at this moment. I am afraid that only Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama can resist. The words of Chen's other people are not Chen's. Danzo is silent, and a trace finally appeared in Danzo's heart. Regret. He never imagined that Chen's strength would reach such a terrifying level. Was so terrifying, otherwise, I would never have joined forces with Orochimaru to deal with Chen. But this is the end. But Danzo made Chen even more determined to betray. Such a Konoha is really disappointing, and there is no value in staying. Chen turned to look at Senju Hashirama, and said coldly, the first Hokage, I respect your strength, but the current Konoha is really disappointing. I am a member of the Uchiha clan, and my Uchiha clan is also one of the two founding clans of Konoha. I myself have made great achievements on the battlefield, and the last ninja war led Konoha to victory, but now there are people who slander me for betraying the village. Since that's the case, I really betrayed today. Chen said coldly. Of course, Chen actually planned to betray the village long ago, and it was because Danzo and Orochimaru were unlucky that they collided with Chen's gun. Senju Hashirama sighed and shook his head. He also roughly understood the whole story, and he was also a little angry. He glanced at Danzo and said, maybe Konoha is really wrong about this. Danzo was silent, and Orochimaru's expression was gloomy. Orochimaru suddenly looked at Chen and said coldly, Uchiha Chen, I know you are strong, but your chakra is limited after all. But the chakras of the people from impure world reincarnation are infinite and will always be resurrected, so I don't believe you can keep resisting. Chen raised his eyebrows. Yes, then just try it. But before that, Orochimaru, I'd better let you disappear. Chen set his sights on Orochimaru. The two guys Orochimaru and Danzo dealt with him deliberately, and Chen has long been angry. Chen's figure moved, and white flames burst out from above Susanoo's great sword. The hot white flames seemed to be able to burn even the soul of a person. Under Chen's control, the white Amaterasu burned violently in Orochimaru's body. Physically, Orochimaru wanted to use ninjutsu to dodge, but Tatsu was one step faster than him. Only see the white flames burning instantly on Orochimaru's body, and then all over the body. Orochimaru screamed in agony, but opened his mouth and spat out. He even used his original substitute technique. Another, Orochimaru, came out of his mouth little by little, using this substitute technique to resist Bai Yan. However, this kind of substitute technique consumes too much chakra, and Chen Yijian cut out again, directly splitting Orochimaru's body into two pieces. Blood splashed. Orochimaru's body fell to the ground, seemingly killed by Tatsu's blow. But Chen knew that Orochimaru would not die so easily. In the original book, Orochimaru is an unbeatable little powerhouse. Stop! A familiar shout came. It was the third generation of Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Not only Sarutobi Hiruzen, but by Sarutobi Hiruzen, Tsunade, Namikaze Minato, Ino Shikacho and others were all approaching quickly. Among Konoha, the people who have an intersection with Chen are basically here. Thanks to all friends for their support of Watermelon. 355 Disappointing Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen shouted loudly, his figure flashed, and he swept over in an instant. At the same time, Tsunade, Namikaze Minato and others also quickly approached Chen. Orochimaru's corpse fell to the ground, and he himself did not reappear. It seemed that he was killed by Chen. But Chen is very clear that Orochimaru should have taken the opportunity to leave the battlefield, and he does not know where to hide. It seems that Orochimaru's reincarnation technique has been successful. The current Orochimaru can already be reincarnated with the help of other people's bodies, and it can be said that he has developed the art of immortality. Sarutobi Hiruzen and others quickly arrived in front of Chen, and suddenly saw Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama. Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned. What's going on? Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama are Sarutobi Hiruzen's teachers, which made Sarutobi Hiruzen completely stunned, and could not have expected the current situation. Little monkey, long time no see, you are getting old. Don't be surprised, someone used the forbidden technique to summon us from the underworld, and we are already dead. Senju Tobarama said lightly. Chen Dao, it seems that this is not the time to reminisce. The effect of impure world reincarnation has not disappeared. Do you two still want to fight? Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama. Chen's words made everyone's eyes focus on him again. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Chen with a serious expression. Chen, what the hell is going on? You should ask Danzo about this. A sneer flashed in Chen's eyes. Danzo. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Danzo and saw that Danzo had broken an arm. Surprise flashed in his eyes. Danzo closed his eyes slightly and said, I suspect that Uchiha's former head, Uchiha, is trying to betray the village, and Uchiha Chen may have something to do with this, so I came to interrogate Uchiha Chen. Who would have thought? How could Chen betraying the village betray the village? Before Danzo's words were finished, Namikaze Minato interrupted Danzo's words, with a look of anger in his eyes. Chen is a great hero in the two wars of the ninja world, a legend with 1 against 10,000. How could he betray the village? Namikaze Minato's unreserved trust in Tatsuya immediately reprimanded her. Chen's expression softened slightly, while Tsunade next to him said coldly, so, it's because Danzo forced Chen to ask Chen, so he forced Chen to do something, causing this situation. Tsunade's relationship with Tatsu was extraordinary, and of course he was on Tatsu's side, looking at Danzo with hostility in his brown eyes. Danzo was speechless for a while. After all, his action this time was indeed a private action, but he kicked the iron plate unexpectedly. At this point, Danzo said that I betrayed the village, and I had to take this charge. But I have to ask, even if I betray the village, none of you can stop me. Chenju looked down and said coldly. Danzo's face was ashen. Sarutobi Hiruzen has a complicated look. And both Namikaze Minato and Tsunade sighed and remained silent. Dai and other people related to Chen were all dumbfounded. It was only natural that things would develop to this point, and there were some complaints from everyone present. Danzo, it's now as you wish. Chen said lightly. Danzo's face was ashen. He couldn't speak at all. He knew that this time it didn't matter. Success or failure, he will be criticized by the top and bottom of Konoha. One wrong step, one wrong step. Chen, I believe it must be a misunderstanding. Just solve it, you. Tsunade took a step forward and looked at Chen with a hint of hope in his eyes. Chen saw Tsunade's sincere expression and his expression turned slightly, but he still said, Tsunade, the matter is irreversible. I killed so many Anbu and broke Danzo's arm. Do you think Konoha can still hold me? Tsunade's face stiffened, and he began to turn pale. Tsunade has no doubts about Tatsu's sincerity. She doesn't want Tatsu to leave Konoha at all, but the current situation seems to be completely contrary to her thoughts. Chen, you have made such a big contribution to Konoha. This time it's just a misunderstanding. Don't take it easy. Namikaze Minato also kept persuading Chen, hard-working and sincere. There are also Ino Shikacho, who also spoke out one after another, especially Akamichi Choza, who also kept persuading. Chen smiled. Tsunade, Namikaze Minato and others all cared about him from the bottom of their hearts, so Chen finally eased his heart. However, the arrow was on the string and had to be fired. Since he decided to betray Konoha, Chen didn't hesitate. Chen shook his head. It's not that I'm acting on my will. Chen glanced at Danzo, then at Sarutobi Hiruzen, and said indifferently, It's just that Konoha today is really disappointing to me. I don't mind staying. Disappointing. Konoha like this is really disappointing. Danzo and other high-level executives have been trying their best to attack the Uchiha family, and even the death of Uchiha Mei is related to Danzo. In addition, Konoha village like this, how could Chen not be disappointed? Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed. This matter is indeed true. I'm sorry Konoha, Chen, as a Hokage, I have an undeniable responsibility for this matter. I just hope you don't anger other people. Rage. Chen smiled coldly, and the anger in his heart rose. Sarutobi Hiruzen said it simply, but the actual result is not the case. This time Chen was completely waiting for Danzo and Orochimaru to come to the door, but he did nothing. As for the anger, it is nonsense. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed, and his face became even more distressed. He really didn't expect things to come to this stage. Konoha does not have the legend of the stars. It is indeed a huge loss. Senju Hashirama sighed, but was also silent. Under such circumstances, it also gave Chen a reason to betray Konoha. Happens, withdrawing from Konoha is also in Chen's current interests. Sarutobi Hiruzen and others came, and it was no longer the right time to do something. Chen just gave Danzo a cold look and said, if that's the case, then I, Uchiha Chen, from today onwards, will be Konoha missing nin. Ask for reward. Thank you for your support for Watermelon, alright. 356 From today, I betrayed. Chen said coldly, and while speaking, he took off the Konoha guard on his forehead. Everyone saw this. Their hearts moved, especially the members of the Uchiha family, who looked at Chen even more nervous. If the Uchiha family lost the legend of the stars, the current Uchiha would really lose their strength. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen moved his lips, trying to stop Tatsu, but in the end he sighed and didn't say anything. You must know that as long as Chen is still there, Konoha is like a needle that stabilizes the sea for one day. His record of 10,000 against 10,000 people is in the hearts of everyone, so that no country dares to move, not even to attack Konoha. As long as Chen is in Konoha for one day, the benefits to Konoha are undoubtedly unimaginable. But if Chen is lost, I don't know if other countries will take advantage of the emptiness and enter Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart has already scolded Danzo, the pig teammate, but he has no idea. There is no way. Both Namikaze Minato and Tsunade took a step forward, preparing to organize Chen, but Chen gently waved his hand, took off the Konoha forehead, then took out kunai and swiped on the Konoha forehead lightly, and a crack appeared. As soon as the crack on the forehead appeared, both Namikaze Minato and Tsunade stopped, sighed, and stopped talking. Chen will draw a scratch on his forehead, representing that from now on, he will officially become Konoha's missing nin. From now on, Chen is already missing Nin's identity. From Konoha, everyone looked up at the person who was watching, and turned into missing nin, but Chen was calm and even had a hint of joy. From today, I will officially get rid of Konoha. From then on, the sea is wide and the fish is leaping, and the sky is high and the bird is flying. Just as Chen made this action, I saw that Kushina and Makoto both took a step forward and took off the protective guard at the same time. And then without hesitation, he drew a trace on the forehead, expressing the thoughts of advancing and retreating together with Chen. Makoto and Kushina, from today, we are also Konoha missing nin. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't know what to say anymore. Jonin, Anbu and other ninjas had gathered around one after another. All seeing this scene, they were completely shocked, confused, and didn't know what happened. The legend of the stars has become a missing nin. Namikaze Minato looked at Chen regretfully, shook his head, and didn't know how to comfort Chen. Chen smiled. Since I have become missing nin, from now on I am the person wanted by Konoha. I don't know which of you want to arrest me. Chen glanced at all the ninjas in the field. At this time, thousands of ninjas have come one after another, including Jonin and Anbu. When these ninjas came into contact with Chen's eyes, they all lowered their heads, not daring to meet Chen's eyes. Joke to capture Chen, not only because Chen is a legend of the stars, but also because most of the people were even once under Chen's subordinates. Chen led Konoha to victory in war many times, and most of the Konoha ninjas did not say anything about Chen's respect. Metaphorical. Under such circumstances, he also said that Chen should stop joking. Chen, if they dare to embarrass you today, I'll be on your side. Namikaze Minato shouted angrily and said loudly. Although Namikaze Minato doesn't know the inside story, Jingchen actually intends to rebel, but he still stands by Chen. This side. Chen's heart warmed, but he saw Tsunade also striding out. Although he didn't speak, his intention was very obvious. Chen is not worried at this time. After possessing a complete Susanoo, Chen's Susanoo can fly freely in the sky, come and go freely, and a mere Konoha will definitely not be able to trap him. However, Tsunade and Namikaze Minato's support for Chen made Chen sigh softly. Danzo looked complicated, and whispered in Sarutobi Hiruzen's ear, "This is the end. If you let the tiger return to the mountain, there will be endless troubles." Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression changed, apparently considering what to do for the sake of the village. Chen listened to Danzo's words in his ears, and said coldly, "Danzo, you'd better not leave in the future, Konoha, otherwise I can't guarantee how long you will live." Hearing Chen's threat, Danzo's complexion changed, becoming livid. His expression changed. For a while it became pale, and then it became livid, almost like a chameleon. "Chen, let's go." After a while, Sarutobi Hiruzen finally made a decision, closed his eyes, and sighed softly. Chen shrugged. Sarutobi Hiruzen ran out to be a good man at this time. Need to escape now. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama in the impure world reincarnation state can't stop him, let alone the others. In fact, Chen has firmly taken the lead. Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third generation of Hokage, is also a difficult character. Sarutobi Hiruzen has always been a good match for Chen, but he also attracts most of them, just because he sees the potential of Chen. Unlike Uchiha Mei and others, Tatsu has a completely cultivated heart. For Uchiha Ming, Chen has always been grateful. Therefore, Chen still has a promise that has not been fulfilled. Zengchen had promised Uchiha Ming that he would take care of the Uchiha family. In the future, the Uchiha family is destined to be wiped out, so Chen naturally can't stand idly by. From today onwards, I will cut off my relationship with Konoha. But before that, 3 generations of Hokage, I have one more request. Chen said lightly. Ask, you still make a request. Danzo was full of anger, and only felt that Chen was aggressive. Chen glanced at Danzo, showing his full Susanoo aura. Chen said lightly, although I have no relationship with Konoha, my identity is still the head of the Uchiha clan, so the Uchiha clan has the right to choose whether to follow me or leave. Konoha. You are taking the Uchiha clan out of Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen opened his eyes sharply, and categorically refused. No, the Uchiha family is one of the 2 founding families of Konoha, how can you take it away? Chen sneered at the corner of his mouth, feeling even more hypocritical. Now that you know that the Uchiha family is one of the 2 founding families of Konoha, why did the top management of Konoha bother to suppress Uchiha for so many years? Now that you know that the Uchiha family are the 2 founding families of Konoha, what did you do earlier to ask for a reward? Thank you for killing Unlimited. 357 I swear to follow. It's true that the Uchiha family is one of the 2 founding families of Konoha, but Konoha executives seem to have been targeting Uchiha over the years, especially the Danzo. Chen squinted at Danzo. Chen suddenly shook his head. No, from the root cause, it should be the 2nd generation Hokage Senju Tobarama. You forced Uchiha Madara, the former head of the Uchiha clan, and held hostility to the Uchiha clan. On the surface, you made the Uchiha clan the guards of Konoha, but in fact, you used this method to expose the Uchiha clan to the surveillance of the whole village and keep Uchiha away from the center of Konoha's power. Boy. Senju Tobarama snorted coldly. Chen was right, but in the public, Senju Tobarama certainly wouldn't admit it. There are many people in the Uchiha clan who are dissatisfied with Konoha. After Kuchin said this, many people came to their senses, and some people thought about it. Senju Hashirama sighed. He didn't expect these things to turn into the current situation. Tobarama, as I said at the beginning, the Uchiha family is also the most important force in the village, and they cannot be excluded. Senju Hashirama scolded lightly. Senju Hashirama has a clear distinction between public and private, and is completely sage mentality. Chen said, the matter has come to this point, it is useless to say more. I just said, as long as the Uchiha people want, they can follow me and leave Konoha. If I don't want to, I won't force it. Of course Chen wouldn't let Uchiha's clansmen follow him to leave Konoha forcibly, but as long as the clansmen were willing, he would not live up to Uchiha's promise before he died. Sarutobi Hiruzen opened his mouth and tried to stop him, but found that there was no reason to stop Chen. Chen glanced at Sarutobi Hiruzen and said indifferently, the fate of the Uchiha clan is left to us to decide. If others interfere, don't blame me for being rude. Speaking, I saw white flames bursting out from Chen's body again, little white flames lingering around Susanoo. Susanoo showed extremely tyrannical power. This strongest complete body Susanoo showed a powerful power. I only saw a chakra surging around like a tide, coming under strong pressure. Almost all the ninjas within a radius of 1,000 meters only felt a tightness in their chests, their faces turned pale, and they retreated a few steps. At the same time, the surrounding vegetation and environment have changed accordingly. Vegetation surrenders to it, and the wind and clouds change color accordingly. The power of a full-body Susanoo. Senju Hashirama changed his color slightly again. Hao Cheng seems to be better than Madara's full-body Susanoo in terms of potential and quality. I'm afraid that only when I restore the strength of the heyday and release Sage Art can I compete with it. Senju Tobarama was also silent for a while. I really don't know how the Uchiha family could have such a freak, how old and so powerful. Everyone was completely overwhelmed by Susanoo and dared not move. Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others could only watch Chen move helplessly. Immediately afterwards, Chen cancelled Susanoo and returned to the surface. However, Chen's terrifying sense of oppression still did not disappear, deterring the actions of all ninjas. Quote, I never imagined that I would have been forced to this step by a scumbag, if it weren't for the limitations of impure world reincarnation. Senju Tobarama was a little unwilling. Senju Hashirama's face was solemn. He is young, but he already has such strength, and I am afraid that his future achievements will be higher than mine. A pity to betray Konoha, a pity, a pity. Senju Hashirama said a few words of pity in a row, with a look of regret on his face. He really felt pity for Konoha from the bottom of his heart, but he let such a legendary genius go. Many ninjas in Konoha were indignant when they heard Senju Hashirama's words, and many even turned their hostile eyes to Danzo. If it wasn't for Danzo, how could the legend of the stars leave? Danzo was like a man on his back, and he faintly realized that his next days would not be easy. Chen walked to the front of the Uchiha crowd. At this time, there were more than 300 people in the Uchiha tribe. All of them looked at Shang Chen. Their eyes were complex, surprised, and puzzled, but they were more respectful and revered. 3 elders even saluted Chen, still saying, Patriarch. Chen's heart moved. At such a moment, the Uchiha family still recognized him as the head of the family. It seems that his thoughts were not in vain. Compared to the disappointing Konoha, the Uchiha family is more humane. Think for yourselves, if you want to leave Konoha, you can follow me and I can guarantee your safety. If you want to stay in Konoha, I will not stop you. Chen nodded and said softly. The 3 elders looked at each other. The second and third elders did not hesitate much. Their lives were saved by Chen in the land of water. Of course, they were loyal to Chen. There are also many younger generation of Uchiha, all of Chen's admirers, also have hope in their eyes, and want to leave with Chen. Let's discuss it, and I will wait for your reply. Chen said lightly, and then left the Uchiha people room to discuss. There are more than 300 people in the Uchiha tribe. Of course, it is impossible for these 300 people to all have one heart. Some of them want to stay in Konoha, and some want to leave Konoha. This is also human nature. Uchiha's clansmen began to discuss, and after a while, it seemed that a decision had finally been made. At this time, Chen only saw that the second and third elders led nearly 200 Uchiha clan members to the front of Chen. Homeowner. The 2 elders Zhang and the third elder saluted Chen in unison, shouting, no matter what. What, you are the patriarch of our Uchiha clan, 200 of us, 200 people, decided to follow the patriarch to the death. No matter what. Sword is in the mountains and the sea of fire, go through fire and water, and do whatever it takes. That's right, my life was saved by the patriarch, and from today onwards, I will also betray the village. Me too. Me too. In the Uchiha clan, there were 200 people who decided to leave with Chen. Chen finally smiled, feeling somewhat relieved. And thank Xiaojia for your reward. This chapter is free. Recommend a new book from a friend and great god. Tilda. Title: The Strongest Magician of the Moon. Introduction. To be a good magician, you need 2 master skills, one is elegance and the other is dirty. Because you are not elegant, it is not easy to get girls. Not dirty, How to Make Up for the Magic is a book that I personally think is good. Recommended by Watermelon. Well, if you like it, you can read it. This chapter is free. Please download Fei Lu Xiao. 358 Moonlit Night, Send Kun 1000 Miles. Subscription. Chen smiled with joy. After several ninja wars and the last crisis in the land of water, the Uchiha clan also dwindled sharply. At present, there are more than 300 people in the Uchiha family, including women and children, as well as some Uchiha people who cannot open their eyes. Of the 300 people decided to follow Chen to leave Konoha, which shows Chen's status in the Uchiha clan. Of course, this is also related to the fact that most of Uchiha's clansmen clearly see the situation of Konoha and know that Konoha's high-level executives are excluding Uchiha. The 200 people, headed by the second and third elders, all bowed to Chen. Chen calmly accepted it, and when he heard the oath of the 2 elders and the 3rd elders to follow to the death, there was also a passion in his heart. Although he left the village, he was still not alone. At least with Kushina, Makoto, and Uchiha so many people following, it's not a bad thing to leave this disappointing Konoha. Chen thought for a while, and then turned his attention to the group of people who chose to stay in Konoha. The chief elder of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Fugaku, and a group of people finally hesitated and chose to stay in Konoha. As for Uchiha Shisui and Obito, they were still out on missions, and they happened to be not among them. Chen looked at the great elder and Uchiha Fugaku. Uchiha Fugaku also looked at Chen, took the initiative to step forward, and whispered, "Chen, I wanted to leave with you, but in the end I chose to stay in Konoha. I think my father's death must have something to do with the top management of Konoha. I want to investigate this matter clearly, so I chose to stay in Konoha." Chen nodded to show his understanding, and the first elder also sighed lightly at this time. His face was a little tired, as if he was 10 years old in an instant. There are some people who don't plan to leave this place where they have lived for decades, and I will do my best to protect the Uchiha clan. The great elder stayed because of the clan. Chen nodded slightly with some respect. Regardless of how, the Uchiha family did not let him down. Chen looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others in Konoha again, and said indifferently, "From today onwards, some Uchiha clansmen will betray Konoha with me. There are also some Uchiha people who stay in Konoha. I hope the top management of Konoha will take care of themselves." There is no doubt that Chen took away a large number of Uchiha people, which will weaken the power of the Konoha Uchiha family to the lowest point, and the strength of the Konoha will also be greatly weakened. Sarutobi Hiruzen was silent for a while, and finally nodded, "I will try my best to take care of the Uchiha family. I don't count on taking care of me. As long as I don't get behind my back, I will be grateful." Chen sneered at Danzo and said coldly. The Konoha executives were silent for a while. Since Uchiha Fugaku, the great elder and others have to stay in Konoha, they will not stop him. This is everyone's free choice, and Chen will not interfere. Chen glanced at the more than 100 people left in Uchiha, and said indifferently, "From today, the Konoha Uchiha clan, the clan leader is Uchiha Fugaku, and the Yuba clan of Konoha will depend on you in the future." "Yes, master." Uchiha Fugaku was suddenly awe-inspiring, and there was a trace in his eyes. Excited, he walked slowly towards Chen. Chen patted Uchiha Fugaku on the shoulder. "I am no longer the owner of your family. From today onwards, the owner of Konoha Uchiha is you. But the path you have chosen is very difficult, and I hope you can stick to it." "Yes." Uchiha Fugaku nodded earnestly, with excitement flashing in his eyes. "Chen, I will take you as an example. I'm hardly a role model." Chen laughed at himself and stopped talking. Chen looked at the Konoha crowd in the distance, and swept over Tsunade and Namikaze Minato, showing a somewhat complicated look. It's impossible for Tsunade to leave with Tatsu. It's not that Tsunade doesn't like Tatsu. On the contrary, maybe Tsunade's feelings for Tatsu are no worse than Kushina and Makoto. But Tsunade's identity is too special, the granddaughter of the first generation, the current heir of the Senju family. Tsunade couldn't abandon the Senju clan to be with Tatsu, so she could only stay in Konoha. Just that Tsunade's eyes flashed with deep reluctance, and he buried his feelings in his heart. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama were both silent for a while, seeing the drastic changes in Konoha. As the first and second generation Hokage, their mood was also very complicated. Suddenly, Senju Hashirama noticed Tsunade beside Sarutobi Hiruzen in the distance, and he was shocked, and said, "You are Grandfather, it's me, I'm Tsunade. Tsunade's expression moved slightly and answered. It's so big. Senju Hashirama sighed lightly, feeling boundless. Everyone was speechless and silent again. You are slowly reminiscing about the old, let's go. Chen is also too lazy to stay in Konoha. Anyway, this time his goal has been achieved. He has broken through again, and achieved a complete Susanoo. Yes, master. The second elder and the Uchiha headed by the third elder nodded and followed closely behind Chen. At the same time, they all made a scratch on their Konoha forehead to express their rebellious heart. As for Makoto and Kushina, they are always accompanied by Chen. In the sky, I don't know when a bright moon has hung up, time has passed too long before I know it, and even the moon has already appeared. Chen led the Uchiha clan to leave, but Tsunade suddenly said, wait. Chen turned back and looked at Tsunade, seeing that Tsunade didn't give in at all, and also looked at Chen and said, I'll send you. I send you. 3 simple words contained Tsunade's reluctance. Chen's eyes softened. Okay. Moonlight shone down on the two of them, covering the earth with a layer of silver color. The ninjas in Konoha all know that Tatsu and Tsunade used to have a master-disciple relationship, and they have a deep relationship, which is not too surprising. Only a few people such as Inoshika Cho knew the true relationship between Chen and Tsunade, and they also sighed and looked complicated. Tsunade and Chen walked side by side, their backs elongated, and at this moment they were extremely harmonious. Night, Senkun thousands of miles. 4 more today, and more. Thanks to Xiaojia for the reward. 359 Someone is always waiting for you in Konoha. Ask for all support. Tsunade accompanies Chen to leave, intending to take Chen for a ride. In the distance, Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama both watched this scene with some emotion. Senju Hashirama sighed, this child Tsunade is already so old. Of course, brother, don't forget that we are all dead. Senju Tobarama hummed softly. Senju Hashirama nodded slightly. I am satisfied to see Konoha again this time, to breathe the air here again. A pity for that boy. Senju Tobarama remained silent, and seemed to feel a little pity. Fight against Tatsu. The more Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama can feel Tatsu's potential. Someone has mastered the impure world reincarnation ninjutsu I created. Maybe we will be summoned frequently in the future. Senju Tobarama said lightly. Senju Hashirama's eyes flashed. This ninjutsu can summon the dead from the underworld, it is too evil. Tobarama, I really hope there will never be another time to summon us, otherwise I don't know how much change it will cause in the ninja world. Quote. Brother, you are always like this. You are too considerate of others. Senju Tobarama was dissatisfied. A smile appeared on Senju Hashirama's face, and a touch of reminiscence appeared. I really miss it, Konoha, Senju Uchiha. Between the conversations, the chakras of Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama gradually dissipated. Since Chen killed Orochimaru just now, Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama can move freely for a while. And now the chakras on them are gradually dissipating. Impure world reincarnation's body also turned into ashes little by little, floating in the sky. Is it finally over? Goodbye, little monkey. Senju Tobarama looked at the 3 generations of Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, chuckled lightly, and disappeared. Senju Hashirama, on the other hand, looked at the Konoha Shadow Rock in the distance, filled with emotion, and disappeared. For a time, the impure world reincarnation of the first Hokage and the second Hokage finally came to an end. All the ninjas in Konoha were silent. After seeing the amazing ninjutsu-like impure world reincarnation, after seeing the terrible power of Tatsu, Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama, these ninjas were all shocked. Chen. Namikaze Minato looked at Chen Yuan's figure, sighed softly, and his face was full of complicated colors. From today, Chen betrayed the village, and the two parted ways. When they meet again, they may be enemies. Namikaze Minato shook his head. I really can't imagine what kind of scene it will be like facing Chen sword and sword. Danzo, what the hell is going on? I need you to give me an explanation. Sarutobi Hiruzen was furious and yelled at Danzo, irritated beyond measure. Danzo's reckless actions actually caused Konoha to lose more than 200 members of the Uchiha clan, as well as a legend of the stars that can defeat 10,000. Konoha's loss this time is really tragic. Danzo opened his mouth, but he was speechless. This time, he really forced Chen away. Only Sarutobi Hiruzen, but also Fung Minato, Ino Shikacho Trio, and many other ninjas looked at Danzo with hostile eyes. Danzo's scalp was numb. He didn't expect such a result in advance. Who would have thought that Chen's strength was so strong and his prestige in the village reached such a level that even more than 200 people from the Uchiha clan were unwittingly betray the village with him. If Danzo is given a chance to choose, Danzo will not be so impulsive to kill him. I announce that from today, Danzo's root, leadership, Anbu will be handed over to Namikaze Minato. Sarutobi Hiruzen rode. Danzo's face was ashen, and without saying a word, he left with his severed arm in his hand. Under the moon, Chen and Tsunade walked side by side. Where are you going after the betrayal this time? Tsunade bit his mouth lightly and asked involuntarily. Chen smiled. I've already prepared for a base in the land of rain. Regarding Tsunade, Chen was not too defensive, just smiled. Tsunade was slightly startled, but he didn't expect Chen to speak so directly, and he also told Tsunade about him. Immediately, Tsunade's expression warmed, and he just whispered, I'm sorry, I can't accompany you this time. Don't worry, I understand. Chen smiled. You have the responsibility of the Senju family, just like I have the responsibility of the Uchiha family. Tsunade nodded lightly. But Konoha is really disappointing. I was thinking of becoming Hokage with your prestige. Hokage. There was a hint of sarcasm in Chen's eyes. People from the Uchiha family cannot be Hokage. Otherwise you will be in Uchiha Madara. Tsunade was silent for a while. Chen smiled. You don't have to worry about me, it's you, take good care of yourself when I am not in Konoha. Chen said. He suddenly found that there was a glint of crystal in the corner of Tsunade's eyes, which had always been strong. Tsunade's eyes were slightly swept with yuhi, and he turned his head away, as if he didn't want Chen to see this scene. I will. Tsunade's voice trembled slightly and replied. The two embraced each other, and Chen's expression finally softened, and he said, send Kun 1,000 miles away, and we must say goodbye in the end. Let's part here, and I'll definitely find you when I'm free. Tsunade is not a little woman after all. She gradually recovered her emotions and whispered, I see. Chen smiled, and gently loosened Tsunade's embrace. Tsunade's eyes showed a hint of covetousness, and his eyes were slightly closed, as if he was feeling the moment of the hug just now. Chen didn't move any more, turned around and left. Taking 2 steps, Tsunade suddenly exhausted all his strength and shouted loudly, Chen, you have to remember that there is always someone waiting for you in Konoha. Chen's body paused. He stopped in his footsteps, did not look back, and continued to move forward. Tsunade couldn't hold it any longer. 2 lines of sparkling tears finally burst out of his eyes. The third update, please all support. There is still at night. To read the underlined version of the novel. The strongest Akatsuki in 360, shocked everyone. Tsunade's words touched Chen's heart. Chen Chang held back and did not look back, walking side by side with Kushina and Makoto. Hey, Tsunade-sama, she is also infatuated. Makoto's beautiful eyes flashed a hint of unbearable color, and said softly, Konoha is so disappointing. Such a Konoha really has no value to stay. But Tsunade-sensei actually likes you. Kushina was an accident and didn't think about what happened between Tsunade and Tatsu. Feeling emotional for a while, Chen tightly held the hands of Makoto and Kushina, looked around, and saw hundreds of Uchiha people's earnest gazes. Seeing the tenderness and unrepentance in Makoto and Kushina, eyes, and was extremely satisfied for a while. With them, that's enough. Chen clenched the hands of Makoto and Kushina, knowing that Makoto's words just now were also comforting him. He smiled and said, "Don't worry, this time we will leave Konoha, but I promise that we will live better." Just after leaving Konoha, everyone was at a loss, especially the Uchiha clan. Although they are willing to follow Chen to defect from Konoha, but they are inevitably a little uneasy in their minds, not knowing what will be waiting for them in the future. Chen's words made everyone calm down. Kushina wondered, "Chen, where are we going next?" Chen smiled slightly. "The Land of Rain." The Land of Rain. The members of the Uchiha clan were also stunned. Chen simply explained, "During the last Ninja World War, I used to prepare a backup in the Land of Rain, took in a few children, and asked them to create an organization called Akatsuki. I am the leader of this organization, and Akatsuki is currently growing in the Land of Rain, which can be said to be second only to Hanzo's leadership in the Land of Rain. There, it is enough to be our shelter and let us be free." Chen's words brightened everyone's eyes and lit up their hope. It turned out that Chen was ready to fight back. The second elder and the third elder even looked at each other and were very surprised. In this way, they were completely "Don't worry, as expected, you are looking far ahead." Chen is also very happy. Akatsuki's strength has grown, but it is still weak compared to the ninja troops of Hanzo in the Land of Rain. But with the addition of the Uchiha family and Chen, it would be completely different. With Tatsuki, the current Akatsuki is a gorgeous lineup. Nagato, Yahiko, Konan, Sasori, Kaku, Kushina, Tatsu, and the Uchiha clan have more than 200 people. The current Akatsuki has grown to the strongest stage. If nothing else, it was just Tatsuki and Akatsuki. When the Uchiha people heard Chen's words, they were all overjoyed, and Kushina was also happy. They looked at each other and smiled. Chen really is Chen, no matter what. Where is it? Well planned. Rain country. The light rain was pattering, ticking, slowly falling from the sky. Chen led Uchiha and his group, and finally arrived in the Land of Rain. The environment of the rain country made the Uchiha clan a little uncomfortable, but under Chen's comfort, everyone's mood became even more excited. As Chen said, after leaving Konoha, the sea is wide and the fish leaps, and the sky is high and the birds fly. The Uchiha family does not need to be bound by Konoha, and can develop freely. After arriving in the Land of Rain, Chen used a special contact method to contact Konan. Only in the rain curtain, the pieces of paper are flying, the pieces of paper are flying everywhere, the flying pieces of paper are dancing wildly, and the pieces of paper are white and flawless, like the wings of an angel. There is no doubt that Konan is here. Someone is here for this chakra. The second and third elders were vigilant, but Chen stopped them. "Don't panic, your own." As soon as he finished speaking, he saw the pieces of paper gathered together to form the appearance of Konan. Eyes and white teeth, slender fingers and red lips, curved eyelashes, and a delicate face. Konan's appearance made everyone stunned. The moment he saw Chen, a deep surprise flashed in Konan's eyes, and he jumped to Chen and said, "Brother Chen." Kushina and Makoto instinctively felt a little sad. Kushina and Makoto looked at each other and both sighed. The other one, Tsunade before, and now there is such a beautiful girl. Rao Shichin was thick-skinned, hugged Konan in full view of the public. His face was also slightly yuhi, but Konan didn't care at all, and threw himself into Chen's arms, but she hadn't seen Chen for a long time. Chen coughed and introduced, "This is my disciple, Konan." "Konan, they are." Chen introduced everyone. When introducing Makoto and Kushina, Konan's face was slightly yuhi, and he quickly got out of Chen's arms and bowed to the two women. "Hello, two sisters." "Sister Konan, she is very pretty." Kushina seemed to like Konan, touched Konan's head, and said softly. Konan chats with Kushina and Makoto. Under the leadership of Konan, Tatsu and the others finally arrived at Akatsuki's largest stronghold in the Land of Rain. Inside and outside this stronghold, the guards are strictly guarded, And Chen was already stronger than when he came last time, so Chen also nodded secretly. Akatsuki is managed by Yahiko. It seems that Yahiko is doing really well. Chen still praised Yahiko very much. And the people of the Uchiha clan were completely stunned. It turned out that Chen had set up such a powerful organization without realizing it, and developed it. The people of the Uchiha clan were completely shocked, and at the same time, they were impressed by Chen's methods. The second and third elders were completely relieved. Entering the gate of Akatsuki's base, Akatsuki's base is underground, only to see that there are hundreds of ninjas all dispatched in this base, accompanied by Nagato, Yahiko, Kaku, 2, Sasori 4. These 4 people led hundreds of ninjas, all of them saluted Chen, and said respectfully, "I have seen the leader." For a time, everyone in Uchiha was completely shocked.